Ooh, god damn.
It's hard to think about that, like, and the people that will play victim because of that, and like say like, oh, well, you don't like it, just don't log on. Like, people play victim for the things that they say to make these things happen. They are the worst kind.
No,
Oh.
go for it. What?
Ah!
You know what you should do as a plan B? You should have just hit record and recorded this. But whatever. I have no problem.
Yo, shout out to who like this dude showing up and saying not getting any audio right now.
You gotta check and make sure.
Homie,
Audio.
You're
yo,
you're coming through on my end. I guess I should go ahead and ask, can you hear me?
bro. Wait, what's his name? Broder Exile. I can't pronounce your name, homie. Sorry.
You got a comment?
Yeah, we do. We got somebody in here, dude. What's up?
Nice to meet you. Let us know what you think about it, wrestling. And again, this is a brand new.
We gotta bump
project.
the volume up.
We're learning OBS.
We're figuring everything out.
But seriously,
So-
no, D. From now on, note to self: just record the freaking meeting.
Everything out.
But seriously, no.
He says,
What do you-
"I hear everyone now."
Just record the freaking meeting.
Are we still live?
Says, I hear everyone now.
All right.
Okay.
Well, again, you'll. Oh wow, my Steam labs.
You can tell we're learning on the job.
Yeah.
Again,
Okay.
we'll figure more of this out as we go over time. But
You can
anyway,
tell-
I
you
think
can
the
tell
bottom
we're
line is
learning on
this.
the
Let's
job.
sum it up all together.
Yeah.
Women's wrestling matters. No matter what you enjoy, what company you look at, give all of them a chance. Respect it as much as you do men in wrestling, because they are just as valuable assets, if not more sometimes. Prime example, NXT. Because literally NXT this week, all I cared about were the women's segments and women's division. There, I said it. Now, anyway,
Bro,
as
I'm
far
gonna
as-
I'm gonna short form it. I'm gonna short form it to bro. Thanks for checking us out, dude. We appreciate that. I'm gonna short.
That's all that matters at the end of the day. Take
Yeah,
care.
man.
We're all vulnerable. We're all
Planting the
human.
seed.
Doesn't matter what you are, what you do, or where you
Yeah,
are.
man.
Respect one another. Bring up each other.
Exactly.
Agreed.
I saw. Speaking off of that, Noah, I saw a video of like this. This must have been like a 7 or 8-year-old kid. He's doing taekwondo and he's doing one of those breaking contests where you break the wood. He like can't break the board with his foot, and the crowd, everybody around him. This was obviously pre-COVID. But the kid was like, he was crying, getting sad or whatever, and all the kids and all the people around him were like chanting like his name, like to break it. And as he breaks it with his foot, they all like storm him and like yeah, and everybody's like cheering and happy. And the caption on the caption on the video is surround yourself with people that help you and build you up and want you to succeed. Okay, so bro's asking a question here. He's like, you didn't care about. Oh my God. Okay, so if I could, I saw this live. Here's the thing. Here's what I feel. Okay, Pat McAfee hates Adam Cole so much that he is going to mimic everything that Adam Cole has done in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
He's forming
Well, of
his
course.
own. He's
Of course he
forming his
is.
own. He's forming his own
Yeah.
faction, and he recruits three professional wrestlers from they're all three of them are from NXT UK. Am I wrong?
They have participated in NXT UK, but only look.
Okay. You have the longest reigning United Kingdom champion in Pete Dunne, who's trying to do this Stone Cold, not showing any emotion character gimmick right now. And then you have the tag team champion.
He's always done that.
What? No, he hasn't. When he was
Pete Dunne?
when he was teaming up with Matt Riddle, that was like the closest we saw to like a little bit of humor and a little bit of like smiling.
Gotta be honest with you. Pete Dunne does not change his demeanor. He always looks like blank just.
And then they hijacked his jet, Triple H's jet.
Breaking someone's fingers and like, or yeah, during those Riddle segments when he was trying, to be.
How are we getting to Portland, bro?
Maybe he showed a little bit more emotion, but that is Pete Dunne 24/7.
Okay, my whole thing is but here's the thing. I like the group. I like the group Pat McAfee has. I personally, I'm just like I'm salivating at my mouth because I'm just like, dude, he's getting so much heat. Pat is getting so much fucking heat. but I think they could do a better job at packaging it. One, I think you need to come up with a name for this group because it's cool. It to me it's better than just the Undisputed Era versus Pat McAfee, the tag team, and Pete Dunne. Like
something better than the Kings of NXT.
Okay, that's ego. That's like
something better than that. I'll give you that.
They'll I think come up with a name. You need to come up with a name. Pat's got to drop it in the next promo. Also, let me think. I guess the thing now is just like, what is Pat's objective? It's just like to beat the Undisputed Era. Okay, like it's he like gonna be like a full-time talent now. He's gonna be gunning for championships. Like, what is he gonna do? Like, I guess if he's the leader, there's got to be an objective. There's got to be something that like he wants to do. Right now, it's beating the Undisputed Era. Okay, where do you go from there? I guess that's just like
look what they got. They got the tag team championships. Now they got Pete Dunne. Gee, I wonder what Pete Dunne can go after. Oh, I know. How about the North American Championship that he is yet to win? And then you got Pat McAfee, who's being the leader. Dude, you said they're trying to be Undisputed Era. Pat McAfee eventually is going to go after the NXT Championship.
Right. I called that since NXT TakeOver 30. But to be honest with you, Noah G, a lot of this just chalks down to him being a heel. And I'm going to be totally honest. I really believe, and I mean this as no disrespect to Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, that were it not for Ridge Holland's injury, this probably was going to be just him, Pete Dunne, and Ridge Holland. And I think Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch got a lucky break. If I'm wrong on that, I'm wrong on that. I feel like it's kind of like it's a case of, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch were in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Well, I feel you're kind of wrong on that because, again, it goes back to the idea. You're right. He's forming a four-man faction. Folks, just realize it. December, we're getting War Games. Undisputed Era versus McAfee's team. I don't know what the hell to call it. Don't care. But originally, it was supposed to be Ridge Holland, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch. Pete Dunne was brought because of the unfortunate injury Ridge Holland suffered. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch was always part of the plan. They were actually phase one.
But this is an example of Triple H knowing how to move things around because he's been in that situation.
Exactly.
Unrelated note, that comment that we just got on our Twitch stream, I went to high school with him.
Yep.
He just texted me.
Hey.
We were in a band together.
Hey, what's up? That's awesome.
Yeah. So, fun facts.
Thanks for tuning in, man. We appreciate that.
Women's championship match in Full Gear to women's wrestling in general to mental health. The NXT women's division surpassing what the men are doing. Let's get back to what we're trying to do, which I think you were trying to continue Full Gear.
Right.
Yeah. We were going to talk about Full Gear first and then kind of go into everybody's perspective shows like we do each week. Starting off with everybody's perspective shows that they tuned in this week. And then we kind of got talking about NXT.
Go home into Full Gear. So it's like you're talking Full Gear, you're talking that too, technically.
Right. All right. You know what? Noah, you and I are you usually cover NXT, but since it was a pay-per-view week, you had Dynamite, so if you want to get into that a little bit later, but we can still talk about Full Gear. With Full Gear,
I'll do a full-fledged review later. Cheap plug.
The good thing about Twitch is that like you've seen some of these streams; they go on forever.
Right, exactly.
People are just chatting. Sometimes people are just chatting about whatever's on their head, and whether they get 1 or 10 doesn't matter. Be yourself and have fun with it. I'm just having fun with this.
We talked about the tag team championship match. I think the next thing we got to talk about is the Chris Jericho MJF match on Full Gear, where if MJF won, he joined the Inner Circle. Personally, I want to talk about now what is the next step in this storyline, because they are making it seem like either I don't see MJF just satisfied with just being a member of the Inner Circle. I personally think that MJF, I think I might have just botched a second ago. I think I might have said Undisputed Era again. I meant to say Inner Circle. Fuck. God damn it. Inner Circle. Okay, I don't see him him and Wardlow as just being regular old members of the Inner Circle. I personally think this is a ploy. I think that, or not a ploy, well, maybe by, anybody who's kind of trying to write the story down and create a story here, they're all like, how can we tell a good story? Well, you insert MJF and Wardlow into the inner circle, right? And what happens? Ego, the battle of the egos. You have Chris Jericho. Perfect. That was perfect. Lightsaber sound. You have the battle of the egos with MJF and Chris Jericho. You're going to see segments backstage. You're going to see a challenge of power. And I think what we might start to see now that Chris Jericho has lost to MJF, I think you have guys like you have Santana and Ortiz, maybe Jake Hager, and oh my God, I'm brain fart. Thank you, Sammy Guevara. I've buried him on Twitter before, so I should have remembered his name. But anyway,
anywho, this match before you talk about the Elite Deletion, because that was before Chris Jericho.
Yeah. We'll get into that. We're working our way there. I think we're gonna. I don't want to steer too clear here because I think we're going to see now that Chris Jericho has lost to MJF. I think we're going to see those guys looking more towards MJF and Wardlow. And Chris Jericho is going to be, we're going to see something like he's going to be ostracized as the leader of the inner circle. And they're going to be looking more towards MJF because MJF is more in his mind. He's thinking, I want the AEW World Championship. And, he's more gold focused. Whereas they're not seeing that anymore from Chris Jericho because he's losing. He's losing. He lost to Jon Moxley. He lost to, if I'm not mistaken, he lost to Orange Cassidy, or did he get beat by Orange? He got beat. He got beat by Orange Cassidy, and he got beat by MJF. So now they're going to be more gearing towards MJF because the man has the diamond ring on his finger. The man's a winner. As much as I hate to say it, and I think they are going to start to help him push and catapult him into the world title picture again. And Chris Jericho, I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he'll start once the world starts opening back up. He'll start going on tour with Fozzy again. Who knows?
Actually,
sorry. Oh, hopefully that didn't just it didn't hit a sore spot. I love Fozzy and I love concerts, man.
I actually kind of have a bit of an idea of where it's going to go, and I kind of have a bit of a prediction of it, and it even ties into Revolution.
Okay, go ahead.
So I didn't see it going as far into Revolution, but it kind of, just scheduling everything kind of made it. So this all was supposed to happen at All Out, but, scheduling and everything made it even worse. So essentially what happens is at the end of the month, at All Out, for those who don't know, Chris Jericho was supposed to face Mike Tyson, because for those who don't remember, after Double or Nothing, they got into a massive brawl, and both of them said this is not over, and that was supposed to tie into their. They were supposed to tie. That was supposed to tie into their match at All Out, but then Mike Tyson took a fight against Roy Jones, which still has not happened yet. It's scheduled for the 28th of November. Now, pending that, Mike Tyson is still in good shape to take that match, more than likely, I don't see Tony Khan as the kind of person to just leave things off the table. I don't see that Tony Khan being that kind of person, especially when it comes to storylines and things like that. So more than likely what's going to happen in my eyes is Mike Tyson will come back. This match will get taken, and they'll get this match out of the way. I think Mike Tyson's going to win, and then that's when the inner circle turns their back on Chris Jericho. I think, and even better, I think MJF's going to play a role. I think he's going to go out of his way, try way too hard to motivate Chris Jericho. I don't think Chris Jericho's going to want anything to do with it, despite MJF's new role into the inner circle, and that's what's going to end up costing Chris Jericho the match.
You are picking up
a take.
Idea. I like that a lot. But the bottom line is this. It's a personal agenda for MJF. He literally teases the idea, maybe I should have a few people.
That's what I'm saying. And initially,
with the help of the inner circle at my helm, that will mean a lot more gold for me. So clearly that's the idea. But I like your end game there, Pete, because we know Chris Jericho, he's treated like a babyface. Everyone sings Judas, everyone supports Chris Jericho. He loves this stuff. He seems much more non-biased on commentary too. Clearly, Chris Jericho, he's taking a character change.
Yeah. So like, and the thing is like, I honestly like it this way so much more with MJF involved. Initially, if we had gotten it all out, you know, it still probably would have been cool. But it's just like with MJF involved, and then like, you know, just MJF kind of just, you know, fiddling the strings a little bit. I see it being so much more interesting.
Right. And going off that point really quickly, I mean, I think we already have hints of that. I mean, during the match with MJF, the crowd, like, did you listen to the crowd? I mean, they were cheering for Jericho. Like, they wanted him to win. So, I mean, I think it totally makes sense. And even if it's not the whole, this goes back to what I was saying earlier, because I think if Jericho's the only one out of the whole group to make a babyface turn, that means that only makes sense that they ostracize Jericho and they make MJF the new leader.
Yeah.
Now, how this plays into effect with Wardlow and Jake Hager, because those two are having a little bit of a tete-a-tete
power struggle.
Not a power struggle. They're inner conflict. Like, they are already like battle of the big men. Like, oh, I'm the top dog. No, I'm the top dog. Oh, well, you know, and then, you know, we should have a match. Those two, I think those two having a match would be incredible. I would like to see that.
It has to happen. It absolutely has to happen.
It's gotta happen.
But, and then another thing is, you know, what kind of and I said this, what kind of shape Mike Tyson is in after his fight, because he's not getting any younger. Like,
right.
Obviously, like, you know, if he's in shape, if he's in the shape to take it, he's old. If he's in the shape, he's you know, not going to turn down the amount of money that Tony Khan's probably throwing at him to take the match. But you can't, you know, you can't do it if it's going to be at a risk to your health. But I will. How old is Mike Tyson?
No idea.
Mike Tyson is 54 years old.
54. But here's the thing.
Thank you, Google.
If he's old enough, if that's not stopping him from taking 10 rounds of a unscripted boxing match, I gotta believe, you know, we'll have to see how he looks after the fight. That's the best thing I can say. Because Revolution isn't until February.
Right.
It's the best way we could look at it.
But they're going to have special theme shows over the couple of months, as he teased on the post-media scrum. So expect something interesting in December, and they are far from done with November.
Maybe Bash at the Beach.
Actually, they got something coming out called in January.
Ooh.
Woo!
Yo, hey, what's up? Thank you
Let's
so
go.
much, guys.
Let's go, baby.
Yes.
All it took was me losing my jaw. All it took was me losing my jaw.
Yeah. Hey, no, we gotta start somewhere, boys. No, this is exciting, guys.
Yeah.
No, I'm totally excited about this. This is awesome. I'm thankful that we're able to you know, do this, because, you know, everybody, you know, we were able to start a show to talk about wrestling.
Talk about something that we love.
Talking something.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's basically what this comes down to.
Yes.
Wait, Jack, we gotta follow. What is their name again?
On Twitter. Is it Delaney or Delaney?
Well, if they're watching, tell them to get in the chat and ask us some questions or talk to us a little bit, because this is professional wrestling.
What is your thoughts on MJF's future in the inner circle? Is he going to take over? Is he going to destroy it from within? Is he going to redefine it? Will it lead to MJF finally getting the championship gold? Only time will tell. But hey, throw your thoughts, people. Come on, talk to us. But
talk to us.
And the bottom line is this:
we're men of the people.
MJF welcome into the circle.
Ask us questions. We'll answer your questions.
Let's get it going.
Anyway, Jack, do you have anything further to add regarding MJF and Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle's future?
Yeah.
The dinner of the Debonaires was very entertaining to watch. I'll say the least.
That I don't care
I did,
what
yeah.
people say. I loved that so much.
I was in tears. I was in genuine tears, man. I mean,
Enough said. Light the wall.
Velma!
Anyway, I'm not going into Broadway. But yeah, how about the match itself? MJF, Chris Jericho literally going tit for tat. MJF being looked at as the heel. Duh. Chris Jericho though looked at as the face. They're literally using each other's moves and mannerisms throughout this entire thing. And MJF, he outsmarted Chris Jericho, which JR thought was impossible for either man to do to the other. As MJF was going for the 42K punch, he missed. Chris Jericho had the back. And what does he do? Flips him, fake out. Aubrey's like, hey. And next thing you know, roll up with tights. Boom. MJF beats Chris Jericho. That match was brilliant.
It really was.
Exactly. No, yeah. I thought it was, this is interesting because I think guys, long-term storytelling. We are getting long-term storytelling here. I mean, and transitioning into the main event, we had Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. My God, the video package was fantastic. The way they built up this match was phenomenal. I mean, Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley having history together, bringing that up into a main storyline. This is why I feel like AEW is far superior to WWE. Like I'm no pun intended. Well, actually, all pun intended. I'm all in because AEW is where it's at in regards to storytelling, basically giving your talent all the opportunity in the world to be themselves and to be artists. And, and not only that, as far as I know, Tony Khan is taking care of them. He's not leaving them in a financial struggle. As a matter of fact, he's doing that and also allowing them to do whatever they want. They're real independent contractors. They're real people, but they're also real independent contractors.
Fun for him. That's all it is. It's fun for him. Jon Moxley suddenly said, "Hey, let's go ahead and try this. Let's not get physical. Let's get physical." Jon Moxley, unscripted, literally brought us into how this came to be, what he thought this program could be. He's very happy with the way it turned out. So literally, yeah, this is all homegrown original storytelling produced by the talent themselves, and they delivered. Yeah. Too much.
And there's the thing. I was talking about how
man.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Pete.
Go ahead, Pete. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. No, it just kind of mutes out sometimes. So I was just like, oh, my bad. No, that was just one of those things where like I talked about how, there are, a lot of elements and variables in the wrestling business, in the wrestling business, in the sports entertainment business, whatever term you want to use. And there's a lot of them, obviously. Every single one of them have one thing in common where I only want to see them when they're necessary. And best example I could use, when we were watching the Hell in a Cell I Quit match, we ended up finding out that the cage wasn't as necessary as we thought it was going to be.
Oh,
we wouldn't have known that before watching the match. We all were kind of excited about it because it was a new concept, and everything like that. But then we found out that they could have just had a regular I Quit match and it would have been equally as good. Now, when it came to the violence and the blood and the gore and everything of an I Quit match, like what we saw the other day, it's one of those things where it's like I've always been one of those people that like if it needs to be there, then I want to see it. If it doesn't need to be there, not so much. This is one of those situations where it absolutely needed to be there, and they absolutely proved they absolutely delivered on it 1,000%.
Right. And to go back to your point, the only reason the cage wasn't in play, it was a dig to last year where, oh, you're going to stop the match? No, you're not. You might as well leave this closed. We're not closing because we all know what happened at Hell in a Cell 2019 in the main event. Just saying. But going back to
probably
real and personal, this blood feud among former friends really felt throughout this match. They left nothing to chance, literally coming down to Jon Moxley wrapping his own arm with barbed wire and literally Bulldog choking him with that to force Eddie Kingston to say I quit. I knew it was not going to be easy for either of these men to say I quit. I did not see that sort of ending coming when he literally could have figuratively speaking, the visual is he can literally slit Eddie
Yeah.
Kingston through that choke.
Right.
Yeah. But so the match itself, as JR would say, an absolute slobber knocker. Absolutely, they were just trying to get as extreme as possible, and it delivered.
Oh yeah,
hands down. Now, what we got after the match is particularly interesting. Kenny Omega coming out there and basically coming full circle to what we had at the beginning of Jon Moxley's AEW career. Now we have the world title involved. Kenny Omega now is the #1 contender for the AEW World Championship, correct?
that's
Okay.
correct.
Now we have the title involved. We have the cleaner in Kenny Omega. We have the cleaner gimmick return. Did anybody think that this was going to happen? Like, as soon as it hit? I mean, in regards to Kenny Omega not being like surrounded by, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Adam Page. I mean, like the Elite. Now it's Kenny Omega, the cleaner. I mean, going up against Jon Moxley for the World Championship. For me, I think, personally, I think if somebody is going to take the world title off of Jon Moxley, it's going to be Kenny Omega. I don't know if that's particularly going to happen because Jon Moxley's been on an unstoppable. It's been an unstoppable force to this point.
In general, he's #1 wrestler of the year, period. And he's beaten all the top 5 before this point now who's involved, Shawn Spears, in a title match. At this point, it's got to be Omega. I can't imagine who else can take it away from Moxley.
Right, exactly. But Pete and I were talking about this last night. We were talking during the watching the show last night. If they're trying to do a long-term storytelling and they want to put the title on Kenny Omega, who would be the title holder that follows up Kenny Omega? Then I would go after Kenny Omega. I would go with Darby Allin, and then after Darby Allin, I would say MJF. It's like, who do you want? Because you could be creating a feud again if they're trying to pull off a heel Kenny Omega right now or a heel-ish cleaner Kenny Omega. You go up against Darby Allin, who's he's the Jeff Hardy of AEW right now.
You're right.
And make him the world champion after his TNT title run. And then MJF finally comes in, maybe with the Inner Circle in tow after this whole thing with Chris Jericho pans out, and then he becomes the world champion. Like, there's so many things that can happen. And for me, it's like, it's so much easier and more fun to predict and plan out what's going to happen in this company and with AEW than it is with WWE, because it's just like I can't get in.
This company is multi-dimensional. It makes matches, makes you believe they could go either way. I said that regarding like all the matches at Full Gear. Any of them could have gone either way. And the beauty is, if something doesn't work, because plans could subject to change, they know how to basically substitute a way that still furthers the storyline without deflating the original storyline. What you love about AEW is the fact that it is so multi-dimensional in any direction it can go in apparently all of its divisions.
Right.
I will say this. Darby Allin would obviously make a great world champion. And, like, as far as, like, following it up, Darby Allin, MJF, and all that stuff. Here's the only thing, though. I am not 100% sure that I'm ready to immediately say that Kenny Omega is going to take it, though. I will say it's like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Kenny, but there's one underlying factor that remains. And his name is Lance Archer. His name is Lance Archer.
Yeah.
Do I think it's going to be Lance Archer? I probably not. But at the same time, it's like, why would they keep throwing him into the equation if they didn't think that there was going to at least be a chance?
Well,
him and Mox do have history.
He is in the top 5, and he is still underlying involved in this triangle because he's already put out vendetta against Eddie Kingston's family, Bunny possibly included. So you got a point there. And if proof comes to shove, if Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston mix it up, Maybe John Moxley will look at this. Maybe Lance Archer will force John Moxley to look into this. It might trigger John Moxley. You might get another title match, but Lance Archer right now, he's had his title match. Truth be told, it was no DQ. We haven't had a traditional one-on-one title match with him. So you're right. There is the option for Lance Archer to challenge John Moxley again, potentially take the title off him. But again, that's the beauty of AEW. You truly don't know who's going to lead this company as champion. But right now, John Moxley, there's no touching him.
Like, I'll be honest, and this isn't a knock on him, but I honestly did not expect Darby Allin to win last night. Like,
shit, because we have
I think that, it's pretty obvious by now. It's a
long story. Fyter Fest 2019. Darby Allin comes in, goes to Cody with a 20-minute call. The two meet up in a tag match where the condition one, they get a one-on-one rematch because Darby wanted to beat Cody at Homecoming. You fast forward to January this year, Homecoming. Cody beats him again legitimately, one-on-one before time limit draw. Darby is frustrated. Darby has this opportunity to become a champion for the network, the TNT title, even though he feels personally, according to what we saw, the network does not want a champion. Why Cody gives you everything you want in the presentation of your champion and spokesperson for your product on the network. And Cody finds a way to just edge out Darby Allin with an amateur wrestling role. And all that history gets recalled here. We go full circle over a year and a half later. It's Cody versus Darby Allin 4 now. And literally Darby Allin just pulls it out in an amateur wrestling counter roll up. You can't build a stronger story than that. And you can't give Darby Allin the moment that we fans have been clamoring for since day one this company began. It had to be Darby Allin at this point.
You're right.
Yeah.
But that'd just be my angle as far as the world title goes. It's like, if Kenny did it, I wouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, it's like I'm still not ready to rule out Lance Archer.
But that's the beauty. You don't mind if a change happens, but you also don't mind if a change doesn't happen. Because when you look at their champions, they are not only valuing the state of the title, but the state of the champions too. It's not like hot potato. There's purpose when a champion gets the title in AEW.
Yeah, WWE needs to be taking notes, clearly, because Simple Man said it. Anyway. They just toss the title around like it's a hot potato, and they just get. I don't know. Like what they're doing with Drew and Randy. Okay, I understand that, but like, it's just like it's hard for me to just. Like I said, I'm more of a fan of what AEW is doing with their championships and with their champions than what WWE is doing right now.
And that might come to the fact you've been conditioned to the point that WWE, you don't expect nothing big to happen. You don't expect a big surprise. You don't expect a long-running champion because Vince will not give you that organic talent. They will always rely on the past, and they will turncoat those talents to them, Goldberg. So AEW, though, they're using homegrown talent they've built over time to lead this company and way less big-time names than you know. And then they go and transition it off when the story feels right to the key names you know. Because when it comes to AEW, the first thing out of people's mouths, the Elite are all going to be champions. We got the Young Bucks, finally, who people thought were going to be the inaugural tag champions, finally the tag team champions. And now you got Hikaru Shida right now, who's everything Japanese strong style emulates, and many people don't even know that style, but for the few that are actually knowledgeable, like me, I understand that style and respect it. And now you have the potential of Kenny Omega being your world champion. Enough said. But they didn't start out with these guys as the champions, and that's what really matters here. They're not in it for themselves. They're in it for each other and the growth of this company and the growth of the industry, as John Moxley subtly alluded to. It's not like they have bad blood against their competitors. It's not like they criticize, they argue, and they gloat against their competitors. Unless your name's Chris Jericho, but Chris Jericho always is going to work the business. But they're doing what they can to help the business, and right now they're the most flexible and user-friendly.
Right. Exactly. And why is that? Because Tony Khan apparently understands professional wrestling and how professional wrestling business should be run. Because he's surrounded himself by professional wrestlers who also know how the business should run, unlike Vince McMahon, who has surrounded himself with himself
And Kevin Dunn.
and Kevin Dunn.
Okay, so moving on. So yeah, world title, we'll have to wait and see. Bottom line, I can't wait for Dynamite. Heck, I can't wait for Dark to see who shows off there. The amount of talent I've come to discover and learn on Dark, absolutely incredible.
Exactly. Now switching gears briefly from AEW, because Full Gear was fucking phenomenal. Congratulations again to the new champions in regards to Darby Allin and the Young Bucks. Young Bucks pulling off what we regard as the greatest tag team match of all time on Full Gear last night. Switching gears briefly to NXT this past Wednesday night, which we regard as WWE's flagship show. I mean, like, Vince will probably still say that Raw is the show, or some people will say that SmackDown is it. As of right now, it's NXT, because that's where
well, because NXT UK makes me extremely happy too. Both men and women rise.
But anywho, we had this past Wednesday an episode in which I went in thinking, okay, so we started off the night with Ember Moon going one-on-one against Dakota Kai. Shout out to Ember Moon. I mean, she has been doing her damnedest to make her comeback solid as all get out. And I think for the most part, she's been doing a damn good job, even though she took an L this past Wednesday to Dakota Kai. Okay, why? Because Raquel Gonzalez is
tangent, then we'll bounce off. Go ahead, Mr.
Because Raquel Gonzalez is being a 6 foot tall gopher to Dakota Kai. Why? Why is this happening? Because Raquel Gonzalez
Dakota Kai is a heel.
No. But that, okay, sure, yes, but it makes no damn sense, because Raquel Gonzalez just had a slugfest with Rhea Ripley. Raquel Gonzalez has proven to us to this point that she can hold her own, that she doesn't need anybody else, and that she can do everything on her own. Why in the fuck is she doing the bidding of Dakota Kai? Dakota Kai hasn't done shit. She hasn't won no championships. She's not proven that she's like worthy of a 6 foot tall gopher on her side. Oh, they're friends. Okay, whatever. But I mean, it's just like, Raquel, you're a badass. Why do you need to do whatever Dakota Kai says? It makes no sense to me. Like, you're a 6 foot tall, badass, kick-ass performer. You do not need to be doing that makes no sense. That partnership. I'm just waiting for Raquel to be like, I don't need you anymore. I'm going to go after the championship on my own. I can do this on my own. Like,
Diesel eventually did that to Shawn Michaels. It could happen.
You're literally
I want it to happen.
Trying to look at this as Shawn Michaels versus Kevin Nash, except Raquel Gonzalez will not be the Nash babyface champion that flopped. The bottom line is this right now. This match was founded upon the fact that Ember Moon is back, but she undermined Dakota Kai based on what she was. This is about how far both women grew. And I would have,
and personally, I would have rather had it that Raquel Gonzalez was not ringside. She did not need to be there. Even though she helped Dakota Kai win the match, Dakota could have won it fair and square, but apparently you need to like,
they're gonna slow burn this. This is a slow burn feud, okay? You got to remember, this is NXT's women's division. They're not one-offs, okay? There got to be purpose behind it. Ember Moon just came in. They're not going to strap the rocket onto her to the top. Dakota Kai was voted out as the top breakout star of the year last year, and they didn't forget that. They see potential in Dakota Kai. Now, whether or not that means she's going to contend for the championship down the line, who knows? But she did just beat a former NXT Women's Champion, whether you remember that history or not, with the help of Raquel. So that means, okay, let's go at this again. They're trying to build something with Dakota Kai because there is nothing for her. Ember Moon gives her that opportunity. So I see what they're doing right now, and we'll see where this goes. It was a really good match, though. I will say that.
Exactly. Yeah, and Raquel and Ember did a really good job at like yeah, there was just really good, not just selling, but just like character work as she was working in the ring. Like it was that was pretty good.
And Dakota Kai just tyrant her. Then we got the war cry and Ember Moon just, well, let me go ahead and use a JR mannerism. Stomp a mud hole in her.
And walk it dry.
Next, we had Kushida defeating Cameron Grimes because of what Cameron Grimes describes as the zombie referee, which I thought was just absolutely hilarious. Even though, yeah, I won't do. I would go on and do my Cameron Grimes impression, but yeah, that's neither here nor neither here.
Not here nor there, but Cameron Grimes is a
Cameron Grimes
straight
to the moon.
That a referee scared the crap out of him, and it cost him his match with Kushida. It's an interesting.
He might want to stop because he's gonna log off and just gotta do the rip the mic off frantically.
Goodness gracious! No,
kind of like Jordan Devlin on that video package.
But this whole thing,
awesome.
This whole thing, that whole thing with Cameron Grimes and Kushida. Sorry, I got it. That's a yawn.
That is a good yawn.
We fall back, the days feel longer. But yeah, Cameron Grimes, Kushida. Pretty good match, but right now, this is just building Kushida, which they should have done a long time ago. I'm glad that Kushida's finally getting a push, it seems, the right way based on what he is in NXT. But tough break for Cameron Grimes now for his character being reduced to, I'm practically scared of everything around me.
Right, exactly. But he's playing the pitiful heel. The pitiful heel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anywho, and then afterwards we had what now? Really quickly, the next match was Killian Dane and Drake Maverick versus Everrise, ending in a no contest. What you amongst your guys' selves, because I need to empty the tank and then refuel. By that I mean use the bathroom. But what are your guys' thoughts on the team between Drake Maverick and Killian Dane?
Jack, start it off, please.
Goofy.
It doesn't surprise me with Drake Maverick's stature and his character that they use Drake Maverick for comedy relief. That's all this is, because I'm just going to be honest with you. Tag team wrestling doesn't matter in NXT when they lost some of their greatest teams, including but not limited to Street Profits, War Raiders, the list goes on and on. All this is pure comedy. It gives Killian Dane something to do. Maybe it'll add a dynamic to his character, but it's not like it's going far, and I don't see these two ever becoming tag team champions. Would not surprise me, though, they do an impromptu setup where Killian Dane and Drake Maverick challenge Oli Lorcan and Danny Burch for the tag team titles regarding what happened after the match. Everrise is nothing but a buffer.
That I agree with.
Further.
Everrise has never done anything for me. They're great. I think they're talented, but like I mean, just they feel like they're very generic. Honestly, and I may get some heat for this. I enjoy comedy and wrestling. As far as this team goes, yeah, they're goofy, but like, do I think that it's gonna go anywhere? Probably not. But I mean, it's. We did. I loved the Fashion Files. Anything that opened with that,
entrances. The team of 1,000 entrances. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I loved the Law and Order spoofs. And that's the thing.
It was funny. All right, I'll give it.
It just bugs me watching people who love Degeneration X shit on anything with comedy and wrestling. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to hear that that's different because it's really not. If anything, it's worse.
Also, hot take, I feel like when Bailey and Sasha were together, they were kind of like channeling an inner Degeneration X from like the 90s as well. It's like they were trying to be like
right,
goofy, comedic,
like
also like not giving a shit about anybody and not being too serious.
And now they hear, Drake Maverick and Killian Dane come out with this Chariots of Fire reboot song, and do 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 do. Which I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I do think that Killian Dane came back to NXT for a little bit more than this. I think Drake Maverick, fought to keep his job for a little bit more than this. But at the same time, they both still have jobs.
Right.
At the end of the day, I will give credit to that. And apparently, that stupid dance is a TikTok trend, so I don't know. But all I got to stop the damn music. Every time I hear that song, I'm like, stop it. But
I personally like
match, but there's definitely more to say about the aftermath of it.
When TakeOver 30 was going on and they were making qualifying matches for the North American Championship ladder match, I honestly was very surprised that Killian Dane wasn't in one of those.
Apparently, this was the plan for Killian Dane all along. Killian Dane, Drake Maverick, tag team.
I mean, if they're using them, they're using them, which is great. I mean, like I'd rather him to be doing this than being not be used at all. Maybe that's me being an optimist. The wrestling community could use more of those. But
you appreciate when people are given an opportunity to showcase what they can do in the ring through a certain character standpoint, because you don't know what it might lead to. You don't assume, but you just hope, and you're just glad to see him on TV. But I gotta be honest, I don't see this tag team thing going far at all, because Killian Dane, Drake Maverick, I don't know.
One example I could give is Titus O'Neil. We've seen what Titus O'Neil can do, as far as being an ambassador goes for the company, and it's done great things for it. But we also know that this guy was a massive standout at the University of, I believe, Florida, and he is a fantastic athlete. And quite frankly, if booked right, he could honestly do well in the ring. But all we know him by, as far as the past few years is concerned, was the Greatest Royal Rumble when he slid under the ring. Yeah. Was it hilarious? Yes. But at the same time, all they've done besides that is his ambassador work, that moment, and what he did on Raw Underground. That's one of countless examples I could give.
Well, again, we could have a lexicon of countless examples like that, but we would be here all night. Maybe we'll do that the last day of the year. Talking about this is what
it's Twitch. We might be here all night.
Then the next thing on docket was the match between Toni Storm and Shotzi Blackheart. Personally, I was by the reaction on Noah's face. I want to get to him in a second, but personally, the only thing that was highlighted in this match were the botches of Shotzi trumping on the top rope and Toni running to recover her really quickly. She was going for a diving move off the top rope or off the third rope, basically trying to springboard off the top rope into the ring onto Toni, and she botched it and fell over. And Toni had to recover her quickly. Personally, I found this match, no disrespect to either of them, because I love Shotzi. I love Toni to death. But I feel like this match was a little disappointing because of a couple of those things. Not to say that it's not that it didn't help Toni or it didn't help Shotzi, but for me, it was just kind of like they were trying to build it up. Like Shotzi was cutting promos backstage, which her promo work is stunner. Like her character work, I think her character work and, the howl and the, just her as a character.
The unorthodox renegade.
Right, exactly. The fact that they had that little moment between her and Io Shirai where like Shotzi's holding the title, but like she like pulls it back towards herself, like, nah, I'm gonna hold this a little bit longer. Like I wish that would have been explored a little bit more. They haven't had a title shot. They haven't had a title match, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. But they've had a one-on-one match, and it was really good, and it really was a breakout match for Shotzi Blackheart in the eyes of Wood Barrett at ringside. Who still finds her weird, but finds her being a very, very, very valuable talent to NXT and very well in the ring. Now,
but this match with Toni,
you wonder if she wasn't all there. Maybe it was storytelling, because this match on paper, Toni Storm, Shotzi Blackheart, sign me up. It sounds like a money match. It sounds like it could be a main event. But that wasn't the key thing sold here, okay? It was what happened towards the end of the match, and more so afterwards. When I figured up Toni Storm and Shotzi Blackheart, I figured up Match of the Year candidate with how promising these young two talents are. And towards the end, it really picked up. But Shotzi Blackheart was not all in this match. She was psychologically rattled because for the first time since being part of NXT, it's the last time we can remember, she did not have something that was very near and dear to her that she told us what it stood for. Her tank. And we're like, what the hell happened? Did Robert Stone finally get the best of it? No, but we found out what happens when you mess with the Johnny Gargano way. Now talk about that.
Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano.
Go ahead.
My God. Well, if doing cheap shots and trying to, maneuver around the rules is such a successful way of doing things, then how come it didn't win you the AEW Women's Championship, Candice?
Because she didn't challenge for the AEW Women's Championship?
Candice did. Candice surely did. I'm talking about the Johnny Gargano way here. Shotzi Blackheart.
You said AEW Women's Championship.
AEW, dude.
I blame the alcohol. I'm sorry. This is.
I should have timed you. On that one.
NXT. We're talking about NXT here.
Okay.
Candice LeRae here and Johnny Gargano. And the Johnny Gargano way here. Well, if doing cheap shots and maneuvering around the rules and, what is it? What's the phrase I'm looking for here? I'm brain farting, boys, on what it is, how you call it, by hook or crook. By hook or by crook. Taking the NXT Women's Championship was such a successful way of doing things, Candice. You would have beaten Io Shirai in that ladder match. If you're such an amazing talent as you claim to be, you would have beaten Io, but you didn't. You had the stipulation forced on you on a moment's notice, and you didn't beat Io Shirai. It's because Io Shirai is better than you, Candice. Quite frankly. Now, you should know this by now, but yet you resort to your scheming, your slick and scheming tactics on going through a match. So what you do is you want to throw a hissy fit, get into a monster truck with a guy in a scream match who is clearly Johnny Gargano, and run over Shotzi's tank just to piss her off. Well, you pissed her off, and next week you're going to deal with the wrath of Shotzi the Blackheart. You're going to see how she got that last name to begin with, because she is going to unleash utter hell on you. And you're not going to get anywhere near Io Shirai's Women's Championship. Why? Because it's being gunned down by the face of the women's division in NXT, and that is Rhea Ripley. Okay? Yeah. And Rhea, in my opinion, is going to take it back. She's going to take back the NXT Women's Championship.
No, she's not.
That's not a prediction. That is indeed a spoiler.
Ladies and gentlemen, Noah Garber.
Ladies and gentlemen, Noah G quoting Paul Heyman. Anywho, personally.
So anyway, to go off your point, it was a receipt. You're right. Candice LeRae had all the opportunity in the world to win the title. Shotzi Blackheart cost her that because, again, anything goes. So that just builds this story. Candice LeRae making it feel impersonal now, knowing what that take stands for. You got to give Candice LeRae some credit. Yeah, she doesn't win title matches. Yes, she uses the Johnny Gargano way, but she still delivers in every match since she's become the Candice LeRae, and it has brought us some incredible.
But can we all agree? Can we all agree that what she just did with running over the tank was a hissy fit? I mean, Shotzi Blackheart earned the right to be the host of Halloween Havoc. By being the host of Halloween Havoc, she basically was given the right to be able to choose the stipulations on the matches. She, even though Shotzi lost to Candice in the #1 contendership match, she's still the host. So she had the right to choose the stipulation. She chose the stipulation for the Women's Championship match. Candice lost, and she blamed it on Shotzi. So she throws a hissy fit, gets in a monster truck, and runs over the tank. That's a fucking hissy fit. She's acting like a child.
if Shotzi did not get involved in that match, dude, you gotta be honest with you. Candice LeRae probably would have won it. You saw what happened. That Scream character got her up the ladder.
Yeah.
Shotzi Blackheart took the Scream character out. Okay. For all we know, that Scream character was going to go up the ladder and literally help push her up towards the title. So Candice LeRae does blame Shotzi for that because that Scream character, whether it was a different one or the same one, ended up Johnny Gargano with the North American Championship, which he will be defending this week. Surprised he didn't talk about that, where Johnny Gargano says he loves with Johnny wins. Because for all we know, it's the same Scream character, two Scream characters, or each of them are playing a different Scream character respectively. But now she makes it feel personal because Candice LeRae feels Shotzi got involved in her business. And you saw how despondent Shotzi Blackheart was, not only in the ring where Toni Storm was trying to counsel her, but afterwards in an exclusive, Shotzi Blackheart just ran out of the building down to a street nowhere near where the tank was apparently destroyed. Couldn't even respond to that commentary or the interviewer, excuse me. So now we got angle. How does Shotzi Blackheart bounce back from here? What hell's crazy matches are going to await us now between Shotzi Blackheart and Candice LeRae? So again, now this feud, it feels personal. It gives both these two something else to do in NXT. But the Toni Storm and Shotzi Blackheart match, unfortunately, it suffered because of it. It was a buffer. I hope we get that match down the line. Honestly, I would not mind seeing Shotzi Blackheart and Toni Storm as a tag team. And it would not surprise me down the line that we get that somehow with Candice LeRae and her Scream probably in Indy Hartwell. We're just going to have to wait and see. But now we got a feud that feels personal and could be long-term versus Candice LeRae's other feuds with one Tegan Nox and Mia Yim. This is an interesting development for both ladies going forward in NXT. And with a takeover,
Mia Yim is in Retribution right now. What are you talking about?
Well, Mia Yim was in NXT, remember? And their feud ended with Candice LeRae with a crazy street fight at GAB. I'm talking about when Mia Yim actually mattered, and existed and was booked properly and didn't go.
I wouldn't be
Retribution garb.
Don't remind me of that shit.
I wouldn't be surprised to find out that this person in the Scream match was actually two people, and it was actually. On behalf of Johnny Gargano, it was Austin Theory. And then on behalf of Candice LeRae was, in fact, Indy Hartwell. If it is two people, that is exactly what's going on.
Theory was the one playing life with Johnny Gargano. I guarantee you that's who it was.
Because what else would Austin Theory be doing?
Well, he quit, right. So who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not like he actually quit.
Hold up. Did I miss something here? Austin Theory.
It was an exclusive. It was like an exclusive interview. But what else would he be doing?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because he lost twice.
Was it during the show?
Yeah, and he lost after he lost to Bronson Reed not once but twice in back-to-back matches.
And him and Johnny Gargano had a little bit of a bond going on, for a cup of coffee, I guess. So it would make sense to throw them together, but at the same time, Indy Hartwell has been low key helping Candice LeRae win her matches.
Well,
so it's
since that battle royale apparently, and now it seems like she helped her beat Shotzi Blackheart with Regal tactics, brass knuckles. So again, we'll see now. Maybe these screen cameras will finally reveal themselves too. We'll see now how this whole Gargano Shotzi Blackheart continuation goes. And as far as Johnny Gargano, we'll probably see him versus Damian Priest down the line because he's supposed to be challenging. Because we know Damian Priest has a rematch, so we'll have to wait and see when that happens. But bottom line, Shotzi Blackheart, she got screwed hard, and it hit her straight in the heart. Now we're going to see what Shotzi Blackheart becomes.
Right.
As if her heart wasn't black enough.
We're going to see a more
pissed off,
but also aggressive, unpredictable, vengeful side of Shotzi Blackheart. We're going to be seeing more of the more badass side of Shotzi Blackheart.
Here's the thing. Does Toni Storm first fight Candice LeRae on Shotzi Blackheart's behalf, and then you slow burn build into Shotzi Blackheart versus Candice LeRae? Because we got to see now what's next for Toni Storm, because you got to imagine Toni Storm, she's going to support Shotzi Blackheart. You know how much respect she has for her.
Personally, what I think is going to happen is this. Say Io loses the title to Rhea. Rhea Ripley. If this is the case, they could put Toni Storm on as far as Toni won the match against Shotzi, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
She did.
They could have Toni on an undefeated streak. They could put her as undefeated in NXT. Um, Rhea could win the women's championship against Io, and we could finally have on the main flagship of NXT Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm for the NXT Women's Championship. I would pay mad money to see that match live.
Didn't they already have? Didn't they already fight on NXT?
They fought on NXT UK during battle. It was like the War of the Worlds back when Toni Storm was still on NXT UK. Toni showed up like one night and said, "Remember when I beat you and then I beat you again?"
Yeah,
like, blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
right.
It was the Worlds Collide event.
Worlds Collide. This was promotion for that. But
right.
This was before Toni Storm made her main NXT debut and became like strictly on just main flagship NXT.
And that was the night that the Undisputed Era and Imperium fought.
Right, exactly.
And
exactly.
Alexander Wolf got knocked the fuck out.
Right.
Imperium still won.
Exactly.
They did.
Because you can't beat Walter.
Exactly.
It was like 5 minutes into the match.
Good grief.
Right.
That was scary too. Anyway, but I don't know, Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley, reimagined in NXT.
Right. I think that would be awesome. Like having that match on the main flagship show would be fantastic. By the way, I wanted to mention this really briefly. They're doing reruns of Impact Wrestling on Twitch right now, and they have Robbie E, formerly known as our own Robert Stone. Oh my God. This
I remember that.
Oh my God. I think this is the
remember.
episode where they have JWoww from Jersey Shore show up. I'm multitasking.
For one time. They literally made it feel like Jersey Shore on Impact Wrestling.
Oh my God.
Or TNA.
Back when it was TNA. Lord have mercy. Anywho, and then we have
fun fact, my brother worked at the Shore store.
No, what?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
He was playing. He played college baseball, and he was in Jersey playing summer ball, and they're like, "Hey, you want to work here?"
No way.
Yeah.
Wait, but now was this after they filmed Jersey Shore there, or was this?
I think they were filming one of their seasons.
So just going back to what you were saying, though, at Worlds Collide, it was Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm for the NXT Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley won.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it would be revisiting history. It wouldn't be the first time under NXT. So we'll see if you're actually right. But first, the Nightmare has to beat Io Shirai. Can it happen? I don't know.
I think so, because I don't think Rhea has lost any momentum. I personally think that her regaining the NXT Women's Championship is it's fulfilling the it's making it come full circle, and it's also good. Again, it's pretty decent storytelling coming full circle with with Rhea losing the title to Charlotte, and then now they're just building her back up organically.
Honestly,
technically NXT Takeover in your house, Io Shirai beat both Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, who were locked up in a submission hold, and Io did the moonsault and pinned Rhea for the win.
Honestly, I know exactly how I would build Rhea back up after that loss. It's not It doesn't exactly involve her winning back the NXT Women's Championship. I think I posted it on our show's Twitter page. It was like this long paragraph. I won't go into the whole thing, but if you ever get a chance, just go on there and look it up. I think I tagged myself on it. It involved the Women's Royal Rumble. So I'll let you guys look it up at your own leisure.
My own hope is that they don't if they have any plans to put Rhea Ripley onto the main roster on Raw or SmackDown. God, like, it's just one of those things where it's just like I just feel like Rhea has the potential of just being like, fuck you, I'm out, because if Vince gets his hands on Rhea Ripley, she's done. That's just the
Hey,
truth.
Pete, remember that whole idea about optimism? How optimistic are you about the NXT women on the main roster at this point?
Not optimistic. It's
Depends on who it is.
Depends on who it is.
Well, Rhea Ripley.
I could see Candice LeRae being successful.
Maybe. Or they'll just put her in a mixed tag team.
The truth is, I won't know until I see them do it. Like I've been proven wrong before. Like look at Asuka now. Everyone wrote her off immediately, and obviously it took her a while to get there. I mean, look, they had her drop the SmackDown Women's Championship 2 weeks before WrestleMania 35, and now look at her. They refused to have her drop. Yeah. So
Raw Women's Champion mostly because Becky was pregnant.
It's easy to say that, you know.
Becky did not get pregnant. Would Asuka be our Raw Women's Champion right now? That's the
Becky. I said Becky got pregnant. I said Becky.
I know you said Becky. I'm just saying.
So do you think Vince is pissed about the fact that he's putting that belt on Asuka? Do you think that pisses Vince off?
He's probably laughing when Asuka just yells in Japanese.
No, he's not. Like let me make something very clear here. I enjoyed the trial segment. I thought it was very entertaining. I did not need to see Asuka there. I didn't need it whatsoever. I didn't need to see Asuka there, and I didn't need to see Rey Mysterio there. Rey Mysterio has enough going on making him look bad, and it just didn't need to happen. I enjoyed Teddy Long. It, you know, brought it, you know, warmed my heart a little bit. Outside of that, it's just like, you know, these guys have enough going on. Outside of that, I was like, this could, yeah.
Teddy Long, please come back and be SmackDown GM. That's all I gotta say about that. But anyway, Noah, continue. NXT, you're not done yet.
I'm not done yet. We had the main event being Tommaso Ciampa defeating Velveteen Dream. Here's the thing. I don't know what they were doing with Tommaso Ciampa there for a hot second. They brought him back from injury, or they just brought him back and they kind of made him like this like heel-ish character, like beating people up and like focusing on one particular body part and being like this badass, you know, person.
2018
Tommaso Ciampa. They're trying to bring that back, but yet, and then they have these, and then now they showed all this footage of him like thanking the
NXT fan base,
the NXT fan base, and like, you know, kind of pulling a baby face. And then they have him going up against, Velveteen Dream, who Velveteen is not even anywhere near what he used to be. Because I
forgot about
why? Because of all the bullshit and all the media.
I forgot about
all the scandal.
I forgot about how I was like, we were getting ready to come back, and I was like prepping up to get ready to like cut a promo on the Velveteen Dream. I wrote it out. Like, I know how we like, you know, discourage scripted promos, but like I like typed out like all the things I want to say to the Velveteen Dream.
If you can remember any of them, go for it, Pete.
I have it written down.
Because Velveteen Dream, I mean, let's hear it. Go for it.
Okay. Hang on a second. All right. Patrick Clark was one of very few standouts in the 2015 season of Tough Enough. At 20 years old, he seemingly had everything: in-ring ability, promo skills, charisma, and an insatiable appetite to improve those qualities no matter how much better they got. He got to NXT, and not only did people assume that he'd be an NXT champion, but he'd been in one of the few call-ups that fans had true, genuine peace of mind that would have success on the main roster without being buried. I was even saying that he could have a talk show, an entertaining one at that. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm an advocate for those. The highlight reel, the cutting edge, Miz TV. Bottom line, the odds could not have been more in Patrick's favor. And what did Patrick do? He fucked it up. He thought it was a good idea to text 15-year-old fucking girls. How fucking stupid does a guy have to be? How fucking ignorant does one human being have to be to the fact that not only would that be detrimental to your currently thriving and only going up her career, but to the fact that, oh, I don't know, it's fucking wrong. I truly hope that you're happy, Pat, because you've got an entire fan base of people who were once so unbelievably in your corner, now hoping you start a Twitch or Cameo and get yourself fired, because human decency clearly is not in the job description at World Wrestling Entertainment. Chew on that, Pat. ... I need a drink.
Damn.
I don't think Velveteen is not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere in NXT. I think the best thing he's gonna do is ride out, hit the remainder of his WWE contract, and
resign.
Fade into obscurity. I will say this: there was one other angle that did get me on NXT. Damn, Pete, Killian Dane's job. What the hell you do to it?
Like, it's weird because Tommaso Ciampa, like, just for a cup of coffee was just taking Jake Atlas's head off, and now, like, everyone loves him.
And Jake Atlas apparently believes in running Legado del Fantasma with steel pipe, one of them to the midsection. I don't think it's the smartest strategy.
No, it's really not.
Anyway.
He might end up being a cruiserweight champion, though, because Jordan Devlin needs a babyface cruiserweight champion to go after. So
that is true, but I thought Isaiah Scott was going to get it, and he still.
So did I. Like, they need to figure that situation out, because, like, at the end of the day, it's got to be, they got to figure out that situation, because I am waiting for them to resolve that.
There's no mention of what's going to happen with the NXT Championship at this point.
Right.
I feel like I don't even know if they know. Like, they're basically showing video packages while they wait.
They're in a tough spot. They don't know at this point. We know we got Undisputed Era versus Team McAfee. We know we got Ember Moon and Dakota Kai nowhere near done with each other. Saucy Blackheart's going to try and beat the living hell out of Candice LeRae. And that's about all the definitiveness we know at this point.
Rhea Ripley going up against Io.
Date yet to be determined. And apparently Xia Li wants to face Raquel Gonzalez due to letters from her.
All I know is that the next takeover is set for December 6th.
And it's going to be War Games. It's got to be. We're going to get Undisputed Era versus Team McAfee. Guaranteed.
I hope they can fit that cage into the CWC.
Hopefully they can come up with a name for Team McAfee than just Team McAfee.
Call it the brand.
Come on.
Call it the brand.
Creativity.
Yeah, right.
I actually wouldn't be mad about that.
I mean, for the brand. There you go.
I would do that. You know that, like, AJ Hawk and Darius Butler and everything would be, like, outside the cage,
Oh yeah.
Being in their corner and shit. AJ Hawk might even light up a cigar.
And that's when Killian Dane will come out and try and destroy them, because Killian Dane's gonna come back whenever his jaw recovers.
Yeah, for real.
That was a nasty looking spot too. Yeesh.
Goodness.
Hey, cruiserweight. He's called that for a reason. Now, did you guys...
This isn't wrestling related, but have y'all noticed that my hair is starting to grow back?
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah, I didn't know if I wanted to do it, but I think I don't have the heart to tell my hairdresser that I'm thinking about doing it, because they look at the human head as a canvas, and then when they do all this, they're basically, oh yeah, shit's for nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I miss it. I miss having locks.
Right. Exactly.
Well,
Anywho.
All right. So NXT UK, does anyone have anything on that?
I honestly haven't finished it, and I know I sound like a terrible wrestling fan when I say that, but
I haven't either.
When it first came back, I was like so on the money, but like.
Well, again, you guys, you say it all the time. You got tough schedules. There's a lot of wrestling to watch. I will say this: NXT UK, only things I watch from WWE. Well, NXT UK, they started off with Ginny once again proving why she's a force to be reckoned with. She took on a debuting Aaliyah James. I thought she did okay. And then we continue about Eddie Dennis and how he's basically controlling these two beasts to to try and take out Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews, which they have been now at this point. Kylie Ray continues to play mind games with Piper Niven as Ginny and Piper Niven had a fallout to the point that Piper Niven basically became a walking death machine, where she literally Piper drived Ginny in the middle of the ring, and Kylie Ray was running for her life. We're going to have a Falls Count Anywhere match now in 2 weeks for the NXT UK Women's Championship. Kylie Ray, Piper Niven. This Piper, though, is not vocal at all. I think Kylie Ray bit off more than she could chew. Rampage Brown is officially part of NXT UK. He is teased now. He is signing his contract papers. Big force to be reckoned with up the UK independent scene. And then, of course, the show was headlined by, of course, the Heritage Cup match between Nolan Dar and A-Kid. Really good, great back and forth kind of match.
That I didn't know about.
Chess game. And A-Kid, he pulled out in the end, causing Nolan Dar to verbally submit, trapping both of his arms in a double Fujiwara armbar between his legs, had nowhere to go. I was kind of surprised by that result. And they also, of course, talked about which is the match of the year candidate between Walter and Ilya Dragunov, showing Ilya Dragunov backstage, probably don't even know what the hell happened to him. And that was NXT UK. Also, who was on top? Great 6-man tag. Gal still strong and full effect. Joe Coffey, welcome back.
Yeah. Who else is in the finals with A-Kid?
We don't know yet. Next week.
They haven't determined that?
That happens next week. Or this week, excuse me.
I think we have talked about factions in the past and like who we would have before, and I'm fairly certain I have very much tagged Dave Mastiff before because he is just an absolute killing machine.
Yeah, he's crazy. I'm going to really be interested in how that matchup falls out. Now, the only question I have at this point, Piper Niven, Falls Count Anywhere, does she finally get it done against Kylie Ray? I don't think so. I still think LF Valkyrie is the one to challenge to become champion. She's the one I'm putting the most money and stock into. If not her, it's going to be Ginny. And as far as Walter, who the hell is going to stop this guy? I guess he's about the size, maybe. Good Lord, Walter is just
I had Ilya Dragunov picked to be Walter, and like I was so surprised when it didn't go down.
Dude, I knew that was going to be a brutal match, but Darlene General is not giving up that title. But that was definitely Walter's match to date.
Here's the thing. I thought that about Pete Dunne, but like then I was proven wrong. Like,
right.
And maybe that's what makes Walter and that's what made Pete Dunne such a good champion is that they're able to convince you so heavily. Is that like, you're gonna have to kill me to take this from me.
Right.
Possibly.
Here's the thing, Dragunov made Walter earn it.
Yeah, that was no doubt Walter's toughest contest to date. He knew he was in a fight.
I don't think this is the last time that they square off.
Where does Walter?
No, not at all.
Where does Walter stand in regards to Pete Dunne's UK title run?
What's up?
Where does Walter, like, in regards to how long his title reign has been for?
Dunne held it for almost 2 years.
Yeah, there's 600 days. Walter's not there yet.
Of course.
No, not quite.
Not even. I don't think. He's
over a year. Over a year.
I would not be opposed to an Iron Man match between Dragunov and Walter. And I'm talking Iron Man match. I'm talking 60-minute.
They did go 30 minutes nearly. You gotta find the right setup that two men can carry.
That's the thing. Only
rare thing.
Not everyone can go 60 minutes. I will give you that. But
anyway, if it wasn't for storytelling, they wouldn't have done it. Okay, that's the thing. And honestly,
Sean and Brett too. Like at the same time, it's like, honestly, I feel like this is gonna be bold, but I feel like Sasha and Bayley could have gone 60.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, they absolutely could have gone 60. If you watch a 30-minute Iron Man match and are left wanting more, then they've done something right, and I feel like they could have done. It's that simple. Yes. I have seen Iron Man matches where I haven't felt that feeling, and it's just like I've seen matches where it's like there's like 20, 25-minute matches, and like the idea of a 30-minute Iron Man match, like it just didn't do a lot for me. Because it's like most big time main event matches are like just under that span of time.
Yeah.
So it's like I hear 30 minutes and I'm just like, okay, it's cool. And it's like other than the scoring aspect of it, like what is this doing for me?
I'm trying to think of the last time under WWE outside pay-per-view takeover, etc. We had a really great competitive near 30-minute match you would consider could be an Iron Man match. And the only one I can think of is Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Anyone else?
I thought that intercontinental title match between AJ and Daniel, that probably could have been an Iron Man match. Maybe not 60, but possibly 30.
AJ Daniel Bryan could definitely pull off an Iron Man match, no doubt. They could pull off 60 minutes, okay? Daniel Bryan, you know Daniel Bryan can go for 60 minutes.
By the way, yeah, that was something me and Pete were talking about last night as well in regards to AJ Styles is him retiring in WWE, him being like it's like the reason why he signed with WWE is because it was the only place at that time he had never been. Well, the funny thing is that was prior to AEW.
For me, what it comes down to is just him keeping his word. Like there were so many people that were so mad when Shawn Michaels wrestled in Saudi Arabia when he spent almost 10 years saying he would never do it. Yeah, how is AJ Styles doing that any different? Just because he can?
Look, if Vince says, I need you to wrestle, you're gonna come back and freaking wrestle.
Right. But here's the thing: it's not even Vince. It's not even Vince. Like Ric Flair, when he retired after WrestleMania 24, what does he do? He shows up in TNA with all these other guys at that time.
Those are fighting words.
But
still, it happened.
It did.
It happened.
It did.
He's acknowledging history. So continue your point.
The point is like it doesn't matter. It's like he needed money at the time. Rick was like he needed money at the time, so he did it.
Watch his 30 for 30. You forget about, like as JR said, you forget about the little things like paying your taxes.
Right. And now he's
I kind of forget about that.
He's in a healthy. Rick is 70 plus years old in a dating relationship. I don't know if he's married.
He's married. I'm just remembering something right now.
Bunch of hip hop songs. Thank you to the Migos.
Ric Flair, Drip Go, Moo on a bitch.
That's
own line of merchandise and his own line of suits and helping Rolex sell watches. So I'm pretty sure he's worth $1.5 million. Hey, I fuck with that Ric Flair song. I love that
Ric Flair Drip.
Go woo on the
dude. It's his ringtone. It's Ric Flair's ringtone.
I saw the video of Charlotte recording him. Ric Flair Drip. Ric Flair Drip.
Woo on a bitch.
Like
he's like,
is that your ringer?
Dude, honestly, one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. In 2012, the Four Horsemen were inducted into the Hall of Fame. Like they each made speeches.
Uh-huh.
Flair comes up and takes the podium and he goes, he's like tearing up and he goes, man, I get emotional at these damn things. So I gotta tell one funny story. Since y'all saw me last in 2008, I am remarried. Wow, shocker, right? Cuts to Cody Rhodes in the crowd. He is just fucking losing his mind, laughing so fucking hard.
But no, that story is heat because he's talking about the wife he was married to at the time, and he's like, I'm about to go midnight. I'm like, I'm gonna go get some drinks with Cena, and his wife goes, You ever grow up? Like,
you won't find out tonight.
he's no. It was so he's like, you ever gonna grow up? And then you're right, but here's what she says after. He's like, what do you have in common with someone 30 years younger than you? Wow.
I don't know, but you won't find out tonight.
I don't know, but I'll tell you this: you won't find out tonight. Click.
And I'm leaving the
the
bar
cell
at 3
phone-
a.m.
and
I'm
the
leaving the
cell
bar at 3
phone
a.m. with
was
John
powered
Cena.
down. And the cell phone was powered down. And I went,
He was like,
that's because I'm a horseman. Like, oh my God, I love that, dude. The
That
Hall
was
of
so
Fame.
good.
Thank you, fucking COVID. I was looking forward to the Hall of Fame this year. I was looking forward to.
I'm curious how they're
hearing-
going to mend that next year, if applicable, and if the class this year is just going to be like, or just mention like a Legends wing. Or something.
So they're just gonna have the class that was supposed to be inducted this past year go in next year. That's what I've been told.
You would hope they stick. You would hope they stick to that. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Maybe even have Taker go in with them.
I feel like Taker should be the headliner.
Which that's not what I would have done. I would have had, I've heard you mention this in the past, Noah G. Just give Taker his own year.
I won't, briefly, I know I sound like a broken record, but like, somebody who, y'all know who I'm going to start talking about now. Don't even get me started on who I think.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. It stands to be mentioned. Like you talk about somebody who's transcended the business, and I mean they're already inducting the Bella Twins. Why not induct somebody who was also making a name for herself around at that time, and also had a movie fucking based on her life? Like let's induct
Right.
her to the Hall of Fame at the same time.
I mean, he didn't mention a name, but I think we all know who he's talking about.
Exactly.
It's Paige.
It's Paige. It's
Paige.
Paige. It's Paige.
And I agree with everything you're saying, but again, this is the WWE. This is the way they do things in sports.
Yo, here we go. Here we go talking about Twitch and what they're doing with their
Whoa.
to.
Before you get into that, I feel like we have more of an optimistic approach to take with it right now.
Yeah.
As of the past few days.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. While we're on a public forum right now, I know that, pro wrestling and really everything else, has a tendency to be a way of avoiding all of those, everything politics. I do it too. I've always done it. But sometimes we have to face the reality of the situation that unfortunately it does affect us. And we had a new president-elect come into play yesterday. And the main reason I am bringing that up is because there's one particular person who's been bringing up the whole Twitch and third-party system that has been asking that president-elect about, possibly taking the office of labor secretary, specifically for the reason of, possibly rectifying that situation. That person being Andrew Yang. Does this mean he's going to get the job? Obviously not. I'm trying to be a realist about the situation. One thing that, obviously this makes this situation a little bit better, because does this mean we're going to, everything's going to be better? No. But we know that, had Donald Trump been reelected, Vince McMahon would have been virtually untouchable. So the way I'm choosing to look at this as is, we have a shot. That's kind of just the way I'm looking at it until further notice, because Andrew Yang has not, stopped, hitting Joe Biden up saying, hey, and we got to, look at this. And this isn't the only reason he's looking at this job. He has other reasons he wants to do it, because, WWE isn't the only company that is, choosing not to take care of their employees.
Oh, that's
right.
So he wants to make sure that people are being taken care of.
Well, not to be too political here, even though I'm the one dressed up in a suit. But again, I will say this. I feel like things are going to change, whether change is for the better in the short run or change adversely affects us in an even weirder way on the long run. We're just going to have to wait and see. Hey,
definitely.
New leader. We're just going to have to wait and see. So not to be too political, you're just going to have to take it one day at a time. This isn't going to
definitely
overnight.
I will say this. Right before I logged on, I watched a video from WrestleMania 23 of Donald Trump taking a stunner. So, It made me feel
Vince McMahon firing him on Monday Night
No,
Raw.
it wasn't even that. It was
I've seen that gift
and then
place.
JR going, Stone Cold just stunned the Donald. Donald Trump's ex-wives are doing cartwheels.
I remember that. It's better than alimony. A stunner on Donald. God, I love good old JR.
It was
Timeless.
Oh man.
I do too. I don't think he's as good. I don't think he's as good as he used to be, but
yeah, but hey, it's all good to go on a different tangent. So
yes.
let's talk about the other aspect of the WWE. Was there anything worthwhile that I missed this week? No longer being a Hulu customer from Raw or SmackDown.
I would like to talk about SmackDown.
That does
All right,
the
go
best
for
part
it.
I got heard.
Yes. So we obviously opened with the rematch from the SmackDown Women's Championship. I gotta be honest, I thought this was a fantastic match.
Really?
And it goes without saying that Sasha Banks walked in with a massive chip on her shoulder, being that, she had never successfully defended a singles championship, at least not since she had been called up to the main roster. So
remember Rollins Charlotte 16-time juggled. You don't have to remind me.
Yeah, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. If I remember correctly, that one of those was against Bliss, but I may be wrong on that.
It was that Great Balls of Fire.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
So essentially, like, we went in, and it was a fantastic match. And honestly, it took up a good, like, at least a third of the show. Like they gave it felt like it did, at least. I just watched it today, so like I
know what I need to Google, but continue. You're pleasing me.
So I was watching it, there was high spots galore, there was technical prowess galore. And then essentially it boiled down to, a Banks statement for a tap out. There's even a point where Bayley hit Sasha Banks with a backstabber. Like, there was a lot of back and forth between these two, and I didn't even know. It was one of those things where you were very convinced that Bayley was going to come out with the title because you didn't know, and you were kind of relying on history a little bit because you knew how Sasha had been booked in championship matches. Like, especially when she was defending the title. But Sasha came out with the victory. And it was like, and I had said in the past that, this probably should have been booked on a pay-per-view, but at the same time, I know that I want to see these matches get put on TV because I see how people look at AEW television and what is making people gravitate towards AEW television, these matches that, make them enjoy it so much. This was the match. This was the kind of match that maybe, this was an example of that. I enjoyed that match so much.
Just to bounce off that, I will also say this. It is a rare thing lately under WWE to make a title match matter outside pay-per-view to a degree. Because back in the day, all the titles, including your WWE Championship, just saying, they were actually on the show. They weren't just dedicated to the pay-per-view. So I will give mad respect then to SmackDown, making the women's title matter on SmackDown, on TV.
They do it.
One thing that
they do it 10 times more than Raw.
The titles matter no matter what and when you're watching them. And that goes for all the titles. So kudos. I got something to watch. Continue.
Yes. They do it 10 times more than Raw. I'll give you that. And like the last SmackDown before SummerSlam, AJ Styles defended the Intercontinental Championship against Jeff Hardy. I believe that was where Jeff Hardy won the Intercontinental Championship, and people were, super pissed because, like, AJ Styles, like, during that whole reign, he didn't defend the championship on pay-per-view once. But at the same time, it's like he was basically putting that championship on TV, like, and doing everything he could to make SmackDown. That, from my standpoint, he carried SmackDown on his back just by defending that championship on TV. And I felt like SummerSlam by that point had a pretty stacked card. So if I'm at that last show before SummerSlam, if I see that the SummerSlam card, I feel like SmackDown needs that match more than SummerSlam does.
I feel
But back,
SmackDown should really cater to the Intercontinental Championship for what it stood
it
for.
does. I agree with you on that 100%. It doesn't mean I'm never going to put the Intercontinental Championship on a pay-per-view, but I agree with you on that. So like essentially after, Sasha and Bayley, after that match ends, Sasha comes out, she's celebrating on the stage. She takes a super kick from one Carmella. Now,
Hello.
I know I'm going to have a very controversial opinion on this. So everybody's always had like an opinion about how people wrestlers get a push because wrestlers can't get pushes because they're not pretty. That tends to be a thing. Which I get that. I totally get that. But here's the thing. I don't want to see that also go the other way around. I don't want to see a wrestler not get a push because they are either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. Carmella has carried the ball before. I believe she can again. I haven't seen this new repackaged version of her. I haven't seen enough of it. So if I'm wrong, I will gladly come on this show and say the words I was wrong. But at the same time, it's like so many people are very quick to write her off because of the fact that she, is just one of the diva prototypes. And I just don't think that's fair. I would like to. I'm ready to see where this goes.
All right, fine. I'll give it a chance. But all I know is that this is Vince's third attempt to create Emelina, now through Carmella, who I've heard apparently is being called untouchable. So
to be fair, he didn't even recreate Emelina. He had her come out. She said, Emelina is going back to Emma, and she walked off the stage. I wouldn't call that a recreation. I would call that. I don't even know what I would call that. That was just like.
It sounds like to me that
that's lazy. That's lazy.
Creative.
And then he had her get fired after she lost twice.
Vince wants a diva.
Well, after she lost twice to Asuka, he fired her. So I honestly would never compare Carmella to what, because here's the thing. Tennille Dashwood is very, very talented, but if you're gonna book someone that way and have her book to lose, have her book someone to lose and then fire them, that's not their fault. And like I said, Carmella can carry the ball. She's done it before. I think she can do it again, and I'm willing to give this a chance.
They go from the Jersey Shore prima donna princess to the freaking Cinderella now, where everybody should just look at her. All right.
Let's not all forget that she's also. I mean, everybody already knows that she has a podcast with Corey Graves. So Corey Graves is just going to kiss her ass.
There's no. Well, Mr. Let's be honest, Noah here. Okay, it's not like that's influencing this in any way, right? Not
sure.
Corey Graves is also on commentary too. I mean.
Yeah. Now, if this makes me a bad fan, fine. But I want to be an optimist.
I respect that, Pete. You're not closed-minded. You're open-minded like me. All I know is this. When it comes to women's wrestling, and I look at WWE, they need to do more than just rely on Sasha and Bayley. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say this. She is let me think here. Either second or third longest holding Money in the Bank contract holder.
Well,
they never want to have him hold the contract for that long. I'm wondering, like, do you guys ever think they're going to have someone hold the contract for the full year?
Like Seth Rollins, practically?
He didn't even hold it for the full. Do you ever think they're going to have him go the entire actual designated year with the contract?
I don't think so. I just don't think there's.
I don't think it will. I think it would be cool if it happened.
Agree.
It would have to be a storyline thing where like they like go up to him. He's like, "Dude, you still have not cashed this in. You need to hurry the fuck up and do it."
Yeah,
like, and it wouldn't be anything where it'd be like catch him by surprise. Like they'd have to just have him like have like the sanctioned match at Money in the Bank, and it probably wouldn't even win the match. But like at the same time, it's like one of those things that would be a history making moment. But so probably my favorite moment of the night was like when Jey Uso went out and like was like absconded by Roman for having an interview. He's like, we got to take care of this Kevin Owens problem. And he's like, go. And then you have Roman just, just sitting there watching him go off. And then like with not even looking at Paul, just like looking at him and he goes, you knew about this? And like he's just like absolutely like pissed off and he's just being an absolute asshole. And he's like, I knew I may have known about it. And then he's just like, you're supposed to know about things so that I don't have to. Go find Adam Pearce now. I was like, I love this so much.
Brock Lesnar. This is a vulnerable Paul Heyman. I have to admit.
I'm digging it. I'm really digging it.
All right.
I'm digging it. Other than that, Ruby Riott qualified for the Women's Survivor Series team, which I actually liked the way she qualified. So Natalya and Ruby Riott both had Zelina Vega in submission holds at the same time. So, and what happened was, Natalya let go of the sharpshooter, and immediately after she let go, Zelina Vega tapped out. So essentially, Natalya, being the veteran, took her eye off the ball. It was very unlike Natalya. Natalya has.
Why did she let it go?
What?
Why did she let it go?
That's what I want to know. Like Natalya has been in the business a very long time. Like you wouldn't expect her to make that kind of a mistake. No. Quite frankly, like she's been like, from the beginning, from the moment like they started booking Survivor Series, I've actually been in her corner to not just be a part of the team, but I was in her corner to captain it.
Same, she's a veteran.
Yes, I said that. You know, people want to shit on her, but at the same time, it's like this isn't about this isn't a popularity contest when it comes to the captain. This is an experience contest, and like that's when it comes to the captain. Like Baker Mayfield is not the captain of the Browns. He's the quarterback of the Browns. He's not the captain of the Browns. He is not the one with the tenure. So like
next time he comes to Cleveland and mocks him, I'm just gonna tell you that right now. But
oh my god, yeah, I'll give you that.
He blasted
like,
Cleveland. I was laughing my ass off about the Cleveland Browns, but anyway, he says,
dude, I'm a Bengals fan. All I get is shit. So you know what? I was in Cincy that day. You know this.
I don't judge. I am just wrestling. Anyway, continue.
So, but that's the thing. Like, if you have as much experience as Natalya has, it's not even in the discussion. You should probably be the captain. But it blew my mind that she would make that mistake. So I feel like they're going somewhere with the story like this, like where like she's like trying to get on the team, and she eventually goes to Adam Pearce, where she like is like, why am I not on the team yet? And he goes, what have you done to deserve it? So like.
What have you done lately? Okay.
And it's like kind of like where like they're trying to like garner support for her again. It's kind of a sense of irony more than anything else. I like they might be able to turn this in her favor somehow. I'm wondering like where they go for it. We'll have to see what happens. Now. So here's what I have to say about Rollins and the Mysterio family. I knew Seth was going to be on the Survivor Series team. I don't want to talk about that. I don't really want to talk about we all know where that's going and all that bullshit. Here's what I want to know more than anything else. When are they going to here's what I want to know more than anything else. When are they going to cut the bullshit and have Rey stop wearing the eye patch?
Royal Rumble.
Is the eye injury real? That's what I want to know, so I can stop being an asshole about it. So I can stop being an asshole about it.
Probably not.
You're not the only one that's asked that question. You're not going to get an answer.
Okay, like, because that's the thing. Like, if it's real, I'll stop being an asshole about it and just go on with my day. But if it's not real, like we can just like come up with some little, kayfabe thing where like he's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do about this.
Probably what happened with he and Seth Rollins facing each other one-on-one. I can see that being set up for TLC.
Probably. I mean, it's cool if like they just need to come up with something. Come up with something. Even if it's the slightest thing. I don't give a shit. Like they've been going at it since the summer. Like Seth Rollins has had literally like 3 feuds all year.
Right.
I honestly count Dominic in this. That is where we're at. We got Kevin Owens. We got Kevin Owens. We got Drew McIntyre, and we got the Mysterio family. That is what we have.
Dude, it was a title match. It was a one-off, and that might have been.
I count that as a feud. I count that as something that Seth Rollins is doing.
All right, fine.
I have to. Other than that, I mean, SmackDown was a good show. I'm not like that's the thing. Like Seth Rollins' match was pretty good. Like his qualifying match, it was decent. But at the same time, it's like it was foreshadowed by, the Mysterio love triangle thing.
Who did they face to qualify?
Otis. And again, it's another person who's if they didn't have all the love triangle bullshit going on, he could be booked a lot better. And I will say this again, Def Rebel gets a lot of shit for the new theme songs, but I think I actually kind of dig his new theme.
Okay.
Here's what I will say about the theme song thing. A good chunk of the new themes have the wrestler's name at the very beginning. I don't know if you've noticed that pattern. I don't know why that has to be a thing. Like that kind of bugs it. That kind of like derails it for me.
Well, maybe they feel like the music itself doesn't identify the actual superstar. They gotta put the name in there.
I don't need to hear the name of the wrestler to know that that's who it is.
So cool. You guys can't see my face. I just a silhouette.
Yeah, you're vacant. We found vacant.
Hey. I don't want to ruin this for you, but I can think of a certain wrestler that did that once that kind of ruins what you're doing right now for me. And that's no, it was actually a certain freak. I feel bad doing that to you, Noah G. Other than that, I give SmackDown about a C.
Okay, so we had a great opening women's championship match. The Roman Reigns tribal chief thing is going way to his head and seems to be very entertaining. You got Jey Uso versus Kevin Owens, which it
was a good match. That was a good match, man.
It got to feel personal. And then you have Carmella, and then you have this love triangle thing still going. So two things.
Essentially, yeah.
Two things I don't. Okay. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Give it credit.
This thing, you can tell that they're trying.
What was Raw like? I'm surprised you talk about SmackDown first before Raw. Well, then again, SmackDown I guess quicker. Was Raw any good? Raw speaks values.
I can tell they're trying. That's all I can say. There's one thing I will say about Raw. It's not even about Raw. It's about a particular member of the Raw Survivor Series team, and that's Braun Strowman. I feel so bad for Braun Strowman.
Why? He's part of the team.
Yeah, he's part of the team, but like, look what has happened to Braun since he's faced Bray Wyatt. Like, they talk about how everyone who faces the Fiend changes.
Right.
Not for the better. Some not for the better. Like, I don't need bald t-shirt wearing Braun anymore. Like,
wearing Braun.
Like, I don't see how that's comfortable for him.
All right.
It's like, and I get it. And here's the thing. I am of the fullest confidence and knowledge that, most, if not all, of what's been going on with the talent is not their fault.
Again,
but like,
my defection from the WWE main roster products is not
Yeah.
on talent. It is on
Yeah.
booking, because you have
Yeah.
convinced me to the point that I almost don't care, because I feel like I'm about to see the same quality
And I hate it.
and the same setups
Yeah.
every week. That's
Which
why I
brings
only
us
watch
back to what
Raw.
I said earlier: is that AEW has the superior company.
Which makes me feel bad doing that. Like, because it's like
Well,
I
to
see
be
these
fair,
guys out there busting
be
their
fair,
asses.
we are just wrestling fans who are objective based on what we want to see in wrestling or sports entertainment, what the hell you call it. While
Right.
Noah puts that statement out there, I
Yeah.
will not belittle a company, but I will
And
also not challenge that statement, because again, I watch AEW
Yeah.
every week too, and joyfully.
Yeah. And I think that's why we still like hold out, at least to a certain extent, because we still want it to get better.
Right, it's like John Moxley says, AEW is better for the industry. So you can only hope that AEW will help the industry as a whole. Maybe WWE will finally put more effort and try. I mean, they used Triple H on SmackDown last week, I think.
Yes.
And it kind of helped a little bit. If he's still being involved in SmackDown, it sounds like SmackDown right now is being the better show versus Raw. It makes me want to tune into it. Because again, all I watch passively right now live is NJPW, AEW, and Impact Wrestling.
Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's just like, if, we're gonna, watch what we want to watch, but I've seen WWE in slumps before, but they've been able to come back. I think that's part of the reason I've been able to hold out. One example I've been able to give. Let's look at the early '90s. Like, it's kind of like when Raw was kind of like first starting out. It's like called the cheesy gimmick era. Doink the Clown,
Yeah.
Isaac Yankem,
Plumber.
Duke the Dumpster Drozy, Sparky Plug. What era followed immediately after that?
The Attitude Era.
It's one of those things where like people don't want to take a chance on that, but it's like, yeah. And I will say this, I agree with you. SmackDown, honestly, if I had to say it's easy to say Raw is the flagship show, but the way I see it, SmackDown is the flagship show, simply because, one, it's got higher quality, but also, SmackDown is also on a major network.
Mhm.
I don't want to say that matters, but at the same time, it's like, it kind of does.
I mean, let's look at it this way. What network gives WWE more money? Let's go into business talk. Fox or USA at this point. They put in multiple billions of dollars into Fox, and during the draft, they conditioned it where everything from Raw went to Fox because the network executives wanted. So what do you think they're putting more money into right now? Fox or USA? And maybe that is a reflection now of the products that we watch. Because again, I will say I enjoy SmackDown more than Monday Night Raw. I can't tell you the last time I watched a full Monday Night Raw live. Sometimes I don't even watch all the highlights, if any highlights. I watch NXT on record because Wednesdays are dedicated to me for AEW. I watch NXT UK passionately because I love what they do there. Feels the most different and organic across the WWE banner. And SmackDown to me still feels like what I grew up on because that was my show, the wrestling show. And it seems like right now they're really bringing that back. Now they just need to do more with the Intercontinental Championship, and then we'll be right.
Now that Fox is on. Now that Fox is hosting SmackDown, it seems to me that what's going on is like, I look at all the demands that Fox made for SmackDown to be on there. It's like, and then I look at where Fox, that SmackDown was beforehand, and I'm thinking to myself,
they got the Fiend. They don't want the Fiend anymore. It seems. I don't know.
Like, it's just like, because SmackDown was absolutely, it was just like a highlight show beforehand. And they weren't going to want that when, the cable equivalent to one of their competitors was hosting their flagship show, and Vince normally doesn't kowtow to demands, because so basically they said, if we're going to give you a primetime spot on our major network, you're going to take this show more seriously than you normally did. So that's kind of like how I'm like was thinking about it. It's just like, this is going to be a show that you are, looking at on a serious level if we're gonna give you a primetime slot.
Yeah, basically, give us what we want. Sounds like Batista. Give me
And
what
Vince
you
McMahon doesn't normally like give in to demands like that. Give me what I want.
Yep. All right, boys.
Remember when Triple H read that letter? He's like, "I'll tell you what."
You really? Are you leaving?
I gotta call it for the night. I'm doing double duty. I have a responsibility to uphold. So, well, not a responsibility. I have an obligation to uphold. So, with that, boys, I'm going to leave this wonderful chat and this wonderful stream in the hands of the Simple Man. If you guys want to keep chatting up, do so. But I'm going to make him the host of this Zoom call, and he's going to be going forward. All right, boys. I'll catch you later.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Noah G. Take care. So yeah, I mean, again, the only other thing, because I watch all wrestling, Ring of Honor, EC3, Essential Canada, New Japan Pro Wrestling setting up their biggest event of the year, Wrestle Kingdom. They got some great cruiserweight type action with the junior heavyweights coming up with Best Super Juniors 27. And I honestly don't have anything else. So let's go ahead and look at what we see so far from the WWE, from the headline point. So Jey Uso is learning to fall in line according to the Tribal Chief, where basically he can't do anything without the Tribal Chief's approval. Knowing. So we wonder how far this is going to go. We have no idea when Jimmy Uso is going to come back from injury. So I pose this to you, Jack. Are we going to get the actual Roman Empire form, name, branding, and all when Jimmy comes back? And do you see Jimmy and Jay becoming SmackDown Tag Team Champions maybe before WrestleMania next year?
Yeah.
Imagine Roman's like, you want him to fall in line? Prove it. Face him one-on-one.
Right.
All
yes.
Right. Well, that won't happen involving AEW. He's on AEW Dark.
Is he technically signed?
Again.
While we're on the subject.
Independent wrestling presentation. They are not signed. They're just given an opportunity to bring what they can, and it could mean bigger face for them, aka Will Hobbs, who got signed. Just one of many names. But go ahead, Pete. What's on your mind?
While we're on the subject, I don't know if you guys were on like saw this message that I sent you guys the group chat. Bubba Ray Dudley mentioned this on Busted Open. Jacob Fatu, who is signed to MLW, MLW is a little bit up in the air right now. He said this straight up. Even though Jacob Fatu is a pretty big time player right now, but MLW is kind of in limbo. He said they should just go ahead and let him go, but they should straight up say, hey, remember what I did for you. They should say, hey, go make this big time money, take advantage of this big time opportunity that you have waiting for you with your family up in WWE, because for a fact that it's going to be there. It's kind of goes back to ECW, because the Dudley Boys had a similar opportunity in ECW. When they had an opportunity to go to WWE, they mentioned it to Paul Heyman, and they're like, hey, we have this opportunity in WWE, and we don't know if, and they're offering us a lot of money. Paul Heyman straight up said, go. I can't offer you that, but remember what I did for you. And they did remember that, because they had, Paul Heyman, was kind of financially, strapped, and he had this small show later down the line. And what did the Dudley Boys do? They wrestled for it. So I would say Jacob Fatu would do very well in this just as much as Sean Maluta would.
Okay.
Really anybody that's not signed with WWE right now that is a member of that dynasty would favor with this. It's one of those things where the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I guess Sean Maluda just didn't see that at first, or maybe NXT didn't see that in Sean Maluda because
Just the opportunity wasn't there.
yeah. But now we got Roman, and again, before Roman Reigns become this, because Vince allowed him to be. Who knows,
Yeah.
honestly, if this opportunity would even be, proposed at this point. So,
It's just shitty timing more than anything else, man. It really is. I will say this. So, Jack, I'm guessing you did go ahead and view Impact this week. Yeah,
imagine with your job, man. But what did you?
it
get?
was.
Yeah.
Wait, did Su Young drop the title?
No.
Oh, okay. That I heard that wrong. Probably. I mean,
Down for Glory rematch. So
yeah.
I would have just done.
I'm not a fan of it either. I'll give you that.
Agree. I feel like again that hurts the value of the championships, which are the identity of your company. If your titles are not cared about by your fans, why should we care about the person that's holding it, even if it's a person that we strongly support? Just saying.
You're playing with fire.
Exactly. So what I would have done personally, because the whole attorney thing, I would just set up like a 2 out of 3 falls. And it's not like Turning Point is a pay-per-view, but it's an Impact special. So they probably will cater to this title match, even under the stipulation, more than they did on television. It sounds like to me that was just a rushed television.
Yeah. So I will admit. Yeah.
Now, of course, it's Deanna to step out of her comfort zone to Su Young's world, so I guess it's an interesting angle. But it just makes me wonder: was the match on Tuesday necessary? But
yeah. So I'll admit I didn't see like really a whole lot. I mean, I barely even saw highlights. Was there any sort of development in the world title picture? Mm.
I feel
Is
like
is I was about to say is Moose throwing himself in there?
what?
I don't know, man. He is. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'll give that. Well, I mean, to be fair, he claims that he doesn't want to carry that tile. That tile's secondary. The real tile is the TNA Heavyweight Championship. That's something out of the trap.
Would they unify those?
I would think so. I would just do a unification match at this point. That might be hard to kill.
Seems like that's where they're going.
But hard to kill is not till January, so you got a lot of build till then. But this idea of Eric Young and Sami Callihan forming a tag team anchored with Ken Shamrock, that could be a lethal trio. I could see some interesting developments there. But well,
Right.
I would think Sami Callihan is more than a hacker, but I get what you're saying.
All right. I will be right back. I gotta go empty the tank.
That's fair enough. So they're gonna revisit Rich Swann
I
versus.
keep these on and like listen to what you're saying.
That's okay. Rich Swann versus Sami Callihan, which means we're getting a repeat back from Rebellion, where those two formerly faced each other over the X Division championship. And I'm guessing the reason he got this because Sami Callihan got the win in the tag match. Did he pin Rich? Did he pin Eddie? Weird. Why would Sammy then get the well, I guess he pinned a former Impact World Champion, so. Oh. All right, fair enough. At least these matches make some sense in the short run, being on a house special, basically, to actually like happen. So what's going on in the tag team division? Mm. You're putting up against some real fire, considering the story and the amount of time put into it. I don't know. I mean, I saw Big LG versus freaking Karate Man Ethan Page, and Ethan selling on that super kick where he just fell backwards and got the win off that. That was brilliant by the Brothers, who stood tall at the end. So I'm very optimistic, but I still think I fought the tag that time come out to a battle of the guns. But I guess the Mercy Machine Guns are dealing with Triple XL right now, which I guess gives them something to do.
Yes, yes, it does. So, yes. Who, who out of curiosity, who is the longest reigning X Division champion ever? Do you know at the top?
Osnery. And then, of course,
Now I really want Rohit Raju to break that record. Yeah. I try to be objective, but God. They could. Rohit Raju is very. I love Chris Bay and I wanted him to win it Bound for Glory, but God, Rohit Raju is good.
I still say TJP though is the uncrowned X Division champion. Yeah. That's finally coming full throttle ahead. Where next week he challenges him for it. If he loses, he can't challenge for the title as long as Rohit is champion. With Rohit beating everybody in a multi-person match, what do you do now? Do you just run the gauntlet at this point, or do you finally try to go back to Chris Bay versus Rohit Raju, which is the one that has not happened yet? I don't know.
But speaking of Chris Bay, is he not like competing in the Super Juniors tournament now?
J Cup in December.
I saw something about that.
Yes, you are correct. We have Freelancers, GCW, New Japan Strong Town, and Impact Town competing under NJPW Super J Cup in December. I can't wait.
That's the thing. Like Chris Bay could honestly go anywhere. Like I know I'm super high on him, but like.
And TJP already comes and goes as it is. He's been heavily involved in NJPW Strong. So it almost feels like to me that TJP doesn't need the title, but clearly it shows that he wants it. That coffee spot.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
God.
Yeah. The loaded fanny pack, man.
The last time I remember hearing about a fanny pack involved in wrestling was Kaylee Ray in ICW. So this is interesting to me.
Definitely, man.
All right, so what's going on with the knockouts, though, as far as the tag team division goes?
Yeah.
But I guess Madison is going to try and form a team with Tennille Dashwood? That's what I heard. They're supposed to be facing Nevaeh and Havoc. That's going to be an interesting match.
So
involved. But anyway.
I'm trying to like do a virtual background here because I actually have something I want to ask you guys, and it involves my virtual background. I don't know how to do it though.
You should be able to go to settings on your Zoom and click virtual background, then pick a picture. But anyway, all right. So
but
it's not pretty tame.
I'm gonna ask you guys this one question.
Go ahead.
What is your most favorite championship design?
With how much wrestling watch. And looking at the most recently created championship, the AEW World Championship created by Dave Mencken himself, I still have to say the one that still sticks out to me and always will for life, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
That's a good choice.
Lineage behind it of every champion that's come before it.
That's a good choice.
Really wearing
it is beautiful.
Title. I have to go with that title. Pure, beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Vintage. Timeless. It's that title for me. And I plan on getting one of those very soon.
It is beautiful, man.
Please. Titles really were.
I have a feeling my answer is going to be the same as yours, but go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
The Attitude Era version, like the circular one?
The circular
Okay.
one, gold and black. I got you.
It did. It did.
That title fit on anybody because it was simply that guy being defined as a champion.
See, that's the thing. Like, you know, you like
glamour thing.
See, that's the thing. Some titles were just ugly, but then they looked good on certain people. Like, look at the Blue Universal Championship. That is an ugly championship. You put it on Roman Reigns, that title looks good on him.
It actually works with him. I'm kind of surprised.
But my answer as far as this goes is in fact the Winged Eagle WWE Championship. You look at the amount of like memories that are associated with that championship. Like anything with Hogan and the Mega Powers, the Boyhood Dream coming true. Yeah. Those are just a handful of examples I could give. Now the least favorite. Now I want to see like what your least favorite championship goes to. Yes, you can. Okay.
I will keep saying it and tweet it till the day I die.
I know what it is.
Die.
All right. I wanted to say the 24/7 championship, but I felt like it was too easy. I already know what mine is. I've said it for a long time, and because it breaks my heart because like the people that defended this championship were done a huge disservice with the belt that they were given when they first started. But I'm gonna go with the original X Division Championship belt.
Oh.
Yeah, I hate saying it. Here's the thing: that original X Division Championship belt, it literally just looks like you slapped the X that you got when you got a question wrong on Family Feud and put it on a championship belt.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I recently saw the
yeah.
With AJ and Sabin and Petey. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just
generic.
It's so ugly. I was like, how do you take guys who are so athletic and so good in the ring and give them such an ugly belt?
Well, thankfully,
like,
they survived through that belt somehow because at the end of the
day, they did. I got to give them credit where it's due on that one. All right, I don't know how to do the virtual background thing, but I will say this: are you guys familiar with tier lists and how they work?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I decided to go ahead and Simple Man, you might know what I'm talking about when I did this. Jack, you're not on Twitter, but you're not on Twitter, so I can understand if you didn't. I decided to do one for WWE video games. So I might get some heat for this.
I'm gonna look up your tweet here for that. Anyway,
let's say you might.
Go ahead and give us your thoughts while we can't visually see it.
It's just SABCDFEF.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you start with the words.
So, yeah, the bottom one is actually ones I've never played.
Okay, that's fair.
So.
Oh, that's why I misspelled it. I'm an idiot.
I know. I hate it. I can't get to the virtual background thing at all. I hate it.
Game day. Oh, you've done more than one tier list. I see here.
I didn't, but I can do that. I mean, that is an option.
Tier sitcoms.
Maybe I did. Hold on. I will say this: I am like actually low key proud of myself for like thinking to do that on Facebook instead of Twitter. Oh, now that I was able to get Jack involved.
Oh, why did you say so? Okay, hold on. Anyway, go ahead and give us some of your thoughts. I'll tell you this: I have not bought a WWE video game since the SmackDown vs. Raw series ended.
I don't think it necessarily ended. I will say this. I do not think it ended. It got a little eh. So the ones I've never played were SmackDown, SmackDown 2, SmackDown versus Raw 2009, 2010, and 2011.
Oh.
My F tier is WWE 2K20 and WWE 2K18.
Well, I think the F tier pretty much is summed up right. You freaking hit the nail.
My D tier is WWE 2K15 and WWE 13.
Yeah, I'm about to say 13 was very
Really?
despite its bugs and faults.
Dude, here's the thing. Like with me and like those time, my thing with like those time traveling to campaign modes, it's just like I don't know, man. Just like going back in time, it's I don't know, man. There's one campaign mode that I've been able to do that and actually enjoy it. But I will go back. Let me keep going here. C tier is WWF SmackDown Just Bring It, 2K17, WWE 12, and WWE 2K16. Here's the thing. I think that's what's kept some of these 2K games from going lower in tier is the fact that their rosters were just so fucking stacked. You got to think about that for a second. That's like that was a winner for me.
It connected with today's audience, so I know exactly
what
you're talking about. And
my B tier. There you go. This is my tier list that we were talking about. He was able to share it. I'm not good at the screen sharing, so this is my screen my tier list that I was just talking about. So this is everything right here.
Yeah, you definitely got the S nailed down. 2006. My gosh, I loved that one.
This was a hard list, dude. It was extremely hard to put Shut Your Mouth in A tier and not S tier, because you got to understand, Shut Your Mouth. I fell in love with that before I actually fell in love with pro wrestling in general.
Really?
Honestly, I was playing that with my brother and his friends, like just kind of like being the tag-along sibling. And then I started watching wrestling.
Well, so let me ask you this, Pete. As you know, this Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Standard Time, AEW is going to bring us some details regarding AEW games.
I am very curious about that.
Tony Khan confirmed it is more than one game. It will be games that are platform-friendly. What do you hope to see visually, feature-wise, etc.? Give me your idea of what you want and what would make you buy an AEW video game.
Well, like I said, you know, one of the things that kept some of these two games from being lower tier was the fact that there was such a high roster. I hope as many people in this, as many people on the roster are included in the game as humanly possible. I don't think, you know, the simulation part of it hurt the games as much as people say they did. I just what people are going to say about I just want to see a good game. I don't want to like nitpick it as much, like, you know, too much. That's really all I can say about it.
Jack, any further comments regarding that?
Yeah.
Pulled up to watching.
Right. Definitely.
I feel like with Kenny Omega
maybe
Fire Pro Wrestling is the closest thing I probably would buy to a retro type arcade wrestling video game. I wouldn't mind seeing something blended along the lines like that, or something that's an homage to the classic SmackDown vs. Raw series that were part of your tier.
Right.
I love and enjoyed and bought a wrestling video game. So
I put 2K19 in A tier because I noticed a genuine effort on their part, because like even though it like wasn't great or anything, like I could tell that they were genuinely trying. That's why 2K18 was F tier, because it was like there was like no voices or anything like that. Like when they said that they were doing free roaming and stuff like that, it was like I would go up and talk to somebody and there was just like, I hope the GM's gonna give me a shot at the title. I was just like, okay, that's dude. I was just like,
Was it 2018? They recycled assets and then they just tried something new in 2019.
Essentially, yeah.
And then they
I was just like, I was like, I thought I wanted this. I thought I wanted this, and I was just like, I don't need it that badly. If it's gonna be this, like, let's do without it.
Bottom line is this: you're gonna buy a wrestling video game. You want to feel as real as possible, like you're watching the show, because that's the whole point to buying the damn video game.
Essentially, yeah.
A lot of these games lately, they don't encompass that top to bottom. They try and add all these special key features.
They really don't.
Proposed visuals, and it glitch and bugs out, and it's just crap. Rerun commentary lines too.
Part of me wants to go back through and like look at this tier list a little bit more, but also think about the soundtrack.
I'm about to say, like, what's your
the soundtrack's really good.
Was it
the soundtrack is?
Was it features? Because soundtrack, you're gonna have to.
I didn't think about those at all, but I should have. Because I will say this: some of these 2K games actually did have decent soundtracks.
Now, the music probably carried the game. I mean, John Cena worked with Wiz Khalifa, for example, on a good portion of a soundtrack during one of them. I forget which one. But I still.
I was like, 2K16 had
SmackDown vs. Raw earlier series, and then they had a hybrid combination of W Superstars entrance themes. Those were great soundtrack lists.
2K16 had like Diddy on and like a few other people on there. So I was just like,
that was the one John Cena worked with Diddy on too.
Yeah, I was just like, that's some good shit right there.
Yeah, the line actually matters.
It is such good shit right there. I felt bad putting 08 on B tier.
Yeah,
it does. It does.
Me and my brother genuinely enjoyed playing wrestling video games, but we held on all the way until SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, and then we died.
It might have been because of ECW. It might have been because of AC.
I mean, let's be honest. The 2006 ECW reboot, or whatever year it was, flopped.
Yeah. So, guys, let me. If you guys are watching this chat, what was the first wrestling game you ever played? If you guys are watching in the chat.
No mercy. You're going way old school before SmackDown vs. Raw when it comes to video games. Before SmackDown, when it comes to pain and shut your mouth, you got to talk about WWF No Mercy. That's still to today held as one of the best wrestling video games ever.
Because I will admit, like, I was mostly a PlayStation guy, and then I went up to the Xbox. Outside of my Game Boy, I wasn't much of a Nintendo guy at all. I feel bad, but
one of the weakest Nintendo guys you ever see. It's surprising how many people know the Nintendo people. I grew up Team Sega. My first exposure to consoles was a Dreamcast.
I had a Sega Genesis for like a cup of coffee. Sonic was my jam, dude.
Sonic, Crazy Taxi, Power Stone. Now you're talking my language.
Yeah, dude. Oh, dude. Spyro was my shit.
Crash Bandicoot, man. Rayman and Crash Bandicoot.
Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, man. Like,
man. Oh yeah.
Dude, you gotta love that shit. I mean,
come on, that's classic.
And I felt so bad selling the reboot in my Xbox One a few months ago.
In those games, like I said, I recently beat Crash 4 on my Twitch, the campaign, but I am nowhere near done playing that game.
You beat Crash?
Did a tremendous job,
dude. I don't think you understand.
Yeah. Well,
how
it was a beautiful love letter to Crash Bandicoot, in my opinion. I love
it.
Like,
so you were able to beat it?
Yes, I beat the campaign. Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time.
Dude, you got like. I don't think you really understand. Like, so many people have rage quit Crash Bandicoot over the years.
I mean, like final level before Cortex Final Bout. Spoiler alert. 63 times. That's the most time I died in a level.
Did you ever play Wrath of Cortex on PS2?
Absolutely. 160.
That one pissed me off as a 12-year-old kid.
Was it the ball levels that pissed you off the most? Because that was
I don't even remember. I almost destroyed my PS2.
That was the case I had.
Yeah. That's bullshit. I would be pissed.
Did you ever get to work or get a copy to actually work and played it?
Dude. Dude, I got like super neck deep into other tier lists too. Like,
You can make tier lists on anything. So
dude, you really can. I got one for chips.
I saw that. I mean,
You saw?
I'm simple. Lay's regular chips or Ruffles is all I need. That's simple as that. I'm simple, so you know me. But yeah, I can screenshot that if people want. I beat Crash 4, but it took 5
Hold
hours
on.
on my last stream to finally finish that game after I freaking
Simple
got
Man.
the 2 twins.
Hey, Simple Man.
Yo.
So, new approach. I'm gonna send you this image, and then I'm gonna have you screen share it because I kind of want to get. Okay.
Oh yeah, because that's right. Because it's 2 modern system.
Because for whatever reason, I can't screen share shit.
That's weird. Why you aren't able to screen?
Because I own a Chromebook and it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think I'm just gonna boil it down to that until like I was actually shopping for towers last night.
Oh, nice. All right, here we go.
I finally have decided that I'm, done with my Chromebook until further notice.
Again, dude, Chromebooks are not for heavy productivity. They are basic web browsing and online processing. That's literally all they're good for. It's about as cheap of a college student needed device as you can get, and it's still.
It sucks that they never wanted to expand from that, because you're a business. Don't you want to expand? You would think.
There's the game market now. It's Stadia. Stadia seems to be holding up.
Yeah, it's my own fault for wanting a $150 computer and being like, hey.
Hey, Jerry. All right, so let's see what you got here. You've never had. Oh, you got my Lay's SC. Okay, simple enough. I respect that. Cheetos Puffs. That's my jam. Love those.
Dude, Cheetos Puffs are the shit.
Damn right. And you definitely picked the right S. Fritos chili cheese. All right, I respect.
How is there not a Dorito? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think combos were ever on there. Oh no, they were. They were.
Yeah, they were. Combos on D-Clash.
It's just the cheddar ones.
Now,
hey, the pizza flavor ones are B tier.
It's not just classifying the snack in general.
I'm sorry. It's just not great. The chili cheese Fritos are absolutely A tier.
Yeah, damn right. Yeah. So wait, Jack, what would you change on this?
I am curious as to what you would change on this. Okay.
Wow.
Wow. What the hell is wrong with you? I'd make a Doritos Locos taco out of that.
Well, there you go.
I'll give you that one.
Okay, wait. I gotta ask this. I don't know if this necessarily classifies, but Pete, where does Ritz Bits rank on your tier system?
Ritz Bits?
Yeah.
I'll put him B.
Okay, I respect that. Oh no,
dude. I'm sorry. It never appealed to me. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, for whatever reason, since I was a child, anything sour cream and onion flavor was just absolute trash.
Yeah, I never cared for sour cream and onion myself. I'm with you there, Pete. But
when they any snacks that were vegetable flavored, I don't know why they tried to make that a thing. Yeah. I don't know why they tried to make like vegetable flavored snacks.
They went sour cream and cheddar after that.
Yeah, oh my god, like,
Good God. All right.
like I will say this right now. I'm looking at it now. I'm thinking that maybe like the original cheeses could have been moved up a tier.
I mean,
Maybe.
I like cheeses to a degree, but I'll eat goldfish and Ritz Bits and Lay's before cheeses. That's just me. That's just me.
I knew I was gonna get some heat. I knew I was gonna get some heat.
What's a podcast without a little bit of controversy or debate? All right, we don't know.
Yes.
Right, and we don't judge. Also,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of my controversial potato chips tier list?
and go
Leave your comments below.
Tag him on Twitter if you want to argue with him. You're an idiot.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the backlash.
They're gonna come
I mean,
come at you hard, man. All right.
I mean, I just went viral for losing my jaw over Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes. So
I mean, they're gonna support you because of that. I mean,
they will support me.
Sharks Darby Allin thing's just gonna pick up now with Darby Allin being the TNT champion. I gotta imagine it's gonna be Darby Allin's first challenger.
Yes. All right.
All right. Well,
So
anybody else wants to?
I am too, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I will say this as we probably close for the most part. Let's just go ahead and have a little bit of fun in memory of a man we lost today. TV legend was at WrestleMania. God bless him and his family, and good luck to CBS. I probably will never watch him again. Ladies,
He was at WrestleMania. Holy shit, I forgot about that.
this man was the foundation for many forms of entertainment media and is known to have been the voice of Jeopardy for over 30 years. Who is Alex Trebek? Patriotic cancer. It got him. Rest in peace.
Yes.
Condolences to the entire Trebek family. With that being said, let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun with just a little bit of screen sharing. Wrestling Jeopardy. Here's what I propose. Let's just go and do the best of three. We'll see which one of you two can answer 3 questions first, and then I think we will bid everybody adieu. Now, as far as alphabetical order, thank you, Johnny Gomez. Pete, I will start with you. The categories are the Big Brawl, Stables, Los Luchadores, Virtual Warfare, and the Gold Rush. What do you
I'm gonna take Virtual Warfare for 200.
This WWE arcade game was ported to the Sega Dreamcast in 2000.
God damn it.
Time is up.
What is WWF Warzone?
No, what is Royal Rumble?
Yeah, son of a bitch.
All right, Steve has lost 200 on that. Go again because Jack didn't answer.
I'll take Stables for 300.
The leader of this stable is a 16-time world champion. Jack? No. We were looking for the stable. What is 4 horsemen? Yeah, you were. All right. Go again, Jack. We're just having fun here. Fuck it. All right. Big one. This WCW only lasted 3 months in 2000 and featured 47 members. No, you're not doing so well there. That is true. It was the
You really cannot.
Hey, Chad, if you knew any of these answers, we'd love to see it, but don't spoil anything. And I encourage you all to go to this website, JeopardyLabs.com, and play some Pro Wrestling Jeopardy for yourself as a fan of pro wrestling or as a longtime or sometime follower of Jeopardy, because God rest Alex Trebek's soul. Pete, go again.
I will take the Gold Rush for 200.
This title was first won by the British Bulldog in 1997 and dissolved in 2002. Jack? Correct.
How do I buzz in?
Yeah, literally. Go again, Jack.
You know how to buzz.
This title was made specifically for TNA Wrestling's No Limits division. Jack. Correct. Jack's coming up now. Go again.
So my team won then.
Go back to what? All right. This title was first held by Shane Douglas in the early 1990s. Very good. DCW. That's right. You literally named the initials, ladies and gentlemen. Just so you know, it's not like Raw where it's just Raw and Raw doesn't mean anything. I never understood that either. ECW actually stood for something. All right, Jack. Go again. All right. Come on, Pete. Come on. You got to get something on the positive side. This title.
Do I have to actually click it to buzz in, or can I just say bing, bing, bing?
Yeah, just say bing, bing, bing. I'm just messing.
Okay, I just.
I'm
fucking.
1999. And the answer was the WCW Hardcore Champion. All right. Let's go ahead and just try 2 more questions here just to see if Pete can get on the positive side while you're leading, Jack. Pete, go ahead and pick something.
I'm going with Stables for 400.
All right. This stable of legends dominated TNA Wrestling in 2009. Jack. Correct. Hey, you got him.
Norman Smiley.
You don't know Norman Smiley? What? Hold on, time
He
out.
leaded the main event. He leaded the main event Mafia.
No. And a coach at the performance.
That I knew. That I knew.
That's a whole different question, bro. Good grief. That's right. And then
You said this stable was led by the main event Mafia. That's what I heard.
Yeah. You're seeing the screen anyway. Pete, go again.
All right. I'm gonna go with Virtual Warfare for 300.
All right. This Japanese wrestling game returned to America in 2007, even though it was never here.
Bang, bang, bang.
Pete.
What is Fire Pro?
Correct. There you go. All right, Pete, go again.
I am gonna go with Stables for 200.
All right. We'll do 3 more questions and then we'll call because I'm sure we're tired. This stable split into the Black and White and Wolfpack. Jack. Correct. No. Yep, I'm kidding. New World Order. I just had to do that. I just want to get a reaction. Of course, the NWO. NWO also split up into the Blue World Order, Latino World Order. It got killed. Killed, though, man. With all the splits, it was ridiculous. Like, every person in WCW was some sort of member of Blank World Order. Good Lord. All right.
Watch them try to do that today without getting some sort of PC heat.
I don't know about that. All right. What did I say? 2 more questions. Yeah, 2 more questions. Jack, I'll let you pick. All right. This title was held by Bruno Sammartino for 11 years.
Ding, ding, ding.
Jack was first. Very good. I'm glad you remember the extra W2 under, of course, Vince's father. Well done. Yep, back before I became W.
You know how many people wouldn't remember that?
Yeah, I know, right? All right. Last question. Go for it. All right. This match was first seen at SummerSlam 1996 when Mankind defeated The Undertaker.
Bing, bing, bing.
Jack. Very good. As soon as you started saying, I knew you got it. All right. Well, I think after that, we will call this the end of the round. And going out of this, Jack is your clear winner with 1,100 points. Pete, you have 100. Well done, Jack. That is for you, Alex Trebek. And I think with that, we will conclude this session of The Sauce. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, who have been here live at any time or watch this on demand. I am Noah Foster for Jack and Pete. Pete, we will definitely try this again down the line. Please try and practice your buzzing skills and refresh your wrestling trivia. We'll get Noah on this too. I bid you all adieu. Goodbye and good night.